Chapter 1481. Chen Shang carefully observed LV Kilian's expression and discovered that there was a firm look in his eyes, which gave him a bad premonition. Although it looked like LV Kilian wanted to talk about the alive slain method calmly, he knew that with this woman's personality, it would not be easy for her to compromise. Furthermore, she had been tricked by Chen Shang, so he did not hate her. Then we need to talk about something first, asked carefully. At the moment, LV Kilian was so calm, which made him a little uneasy. First, tell me why you have come to find me. You should have other important matters to attend to, right? LV Kilian had an enchanting smile on his face. That kind of smile was filled with confidence, making her even more beautiful and charming. I want to buy some immortal grade medicinal herbs. The first and second grade are mainly used to increase the innate chi or strengthen the body, as well as the divine soul. Chen Shang went straight to the point and told LV Kilian the reason for his visit. LV Kilian sipped the tea lightly, a smile in his eyes, causing Chen Zhang's heart to palpitate with fear. You want to challenge the Divine Palace protectors, but you don't have enough strength, that's why you need a large amount of high-level herbs to concoct pills. LV Kilian put down his teacup and gently smiled, as if he had seen through everything about Chen Shang. I didn't expect you to know how to refine immortal pills, you're much stronger than what I imagined. Chen Shang was most afraid that LV Kilian would easily know what she was thinking, and she could even predict what you would do next. That's right, Chen Shang spread out his hands. You should have these ingredients. I do, but I won't sell it to you. LV Kilian laughed. Don't even think about making a deal with me, I won't give you any chances. You should know that I don't lack spiritual crystal, and I don't lack anything else. As she spoke, she tossed a small jade box to Chen Shang and continued to speak. This is the seed and I'll return it to you. Chen Shang took the jade box, and secretly took a deep breath in his heart. He knew that LV Kilian was going to counterattack. That is to say, you do not plan to discuss the matters of the devil-suppressing heavenly venerable. Chen Shang frowned. Didn't you say that we needed to have a good talk? LV Kilian said, we need to have a good talk, but I did not say that I want to talk about that. So it's fine, but if you listen to my arrangements, we can continue to cooperate. I can even provide a large amount of immortal medicine and immortal pills to help you increase your strength and allow you to challenge the Divine Palace protectors. But I don't think you'd agree, so there's nothing to talk about. Chen Shang nodded his head. You understand me quite well now, I will not agree to it. Since that's the case, then we really have nothing to discuss, so I will take my leave. Chen Shang had already stood up. That kind of resolute attitude actually exceeded LV Kilian's expectations. She hurriedly said, don't tell me you don't want to obtain that alive slain method. I can get it on my own. Chen Shang cupped his hands and was about to leave. I'm stronger than you. If you have a request for me, why aren't you willing to follow my orders? This is good for you. LV Kilian found it hard to understand. In her deduction, Chen Shang should be very happy to agree to her request. Why can't we discuss this properly? We have to listen to all of your arrangements, and you're not necessarily right. Listening to your arrangements, there's a very high possibility that it will harm me, to put it bluntly, even if I don't trust you, and you're too confident, you still won't listen to my opinions. Chen Shang sighed. My request is not too overboard, it is for the two of us to cooperate and discuss countermeasures. LV Kilian said. Then go, you are truly powerful, I may be wrong, but I like to control everything, and have been like this for many years. I do not permit any variables to disrupt my plans, and also, do not look for me here in the future. Chen Shang walked to the door and said, even if you knew where the alive slain method is hidden, you wouldn't be able to obtain it without me, because it was left especially for me by my father. Others are unable to obtain it. If they were to forcefully take it away, it would only lead to the destruction of that place. Thanks for the reminder. Chen Shang left the Hundreds of Flowers Palace. He was not surprised that LV Kilian would behave like this. This person was a strong woman, her competitive spirit was extremely strong, and she hated men so much that Chen Shang would definitely not be in a position to discuss important matters with her. As expected of the Flower Emperor, you have character, little scoundrel, don't tell me you're just going to let it go like this. Long Shui laughed. Chen Shang walked on the street, looked at the pill shops and said, there was originally no enmity between her and I, and there was only righteousness and righteousness after our failure. She is now angry with me. In her eyes, I'm still a weak person. She disdains cooperating with me and only wants me to listen to her. So, next up, I can only rely on myself. LV Kilian thought that she had been tricked by Chen Shang, and felt that she had some sort of understanding of Chen Shang. She felt that Chen Shang was just like that, but she still had a very little understanding of Chen Shang, and only knew of his facade. However, she is too arrogant, and cannot let go of her dignity, so after this, she will definitely fight with me in the dark. I think that she will think of a way to not let me buy any immortal medicine ingredients. Chen Shang said. I think she hopes to use some methods to make me lose my way. In the end, she'll find her for help and then submit to her. Long Shui laughed. This flower emperor wants to conquer you, but she definitely won't do it that easily. Chen Shang laughed. The one who will be conquered in the end will definitely be her. Put her on the bed. Long Shui laughed sinisterly. Chen Shang laughed sinisterly, then stepped into the transmission array and returned to the ancient Star Immortal Palace. He was not in a hurry to investigate the Divine Devil cult, since he was not strong enough yet. Master, help me investigate where Yan Zilan is and I need to find her. Chen Shang knocked on Huang Jintian's door. Huang Jintian did not open the door, and instead shouted from inside, I heard that the sisters have gone to Divine Thunder Immortal Country, go and find out, with the abilities of the sisters, they should be able to make a name for themselves there. Then I will be there for a while. I'll leave this place to you, old man. Yan Zilan had an outstanding management ability and a very wide network of people. Chen Shang wanted to find her to help him buy some immortal medicine ingredients. Yan Zilan, Du Yanyao, Yun Zhu and Bai Xing were all sworn sisters. Chen Shang had helped them a lot before, but now that he was going to look for them for help, they would definitely not refuse him. Chapter 1482. The Divine Thunder Immortal Country was established by the Supreme Thunder of the 9 Emperors and 5 Venerables years ago. It had a long history and had experienced many wars. There was a period of time when this Divine Thunder Immortal Country was very powerful, attacking other Immortal Palace Immortal Countries. Ever since Divine Thunder Immortal Country was defeated by many powers, she had been much more low profile and did not participate in any big events for many years, giving people the feeling that she had changed. After Chen Shang was teleported to the Divine Thunder Immortal Country, he saw that many of the rankers here used the power of the lightning attribute. He was secretly happy because he had something like the Leihan fruit, which many lightning attribute rankers needed. She was working as a hall master of the Divine Thunder Hall, which was under the control of the Divine Thunder Immortal Country. The Divine Thunder Hall was mainly in the business world, selling all sorts of expensive things. Occasionally, there would be auctions or events. He didn't want LV Kilian to know that she was here. Otherwise, with just his brain, LV Kilian would definitely guess that he was looking for Yan Zilan for help, and then, he would have done something to her. This Divine Lightning Hall is really short, it's not even taller than my devil-suppressing Divine Palace. Chen Shang counted. Divine Thunder Hall was only on the 35th floor. Look at the materials of this building. They are all many years ago. Although it is old, it is very meaningful. This is a building that has experienced the era of the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord. Su Meiyao said, when I was very young, I had been here before with Master. The Divine Lightning Palace was built with huge grey bricks. It was square and grand in appearance. Every floor was very wide, like a public square, and could hold many people inside. The moment Chen Shang entered this place, he immediately used the Heaven Tour to search for Yan Zilan at the highest level. Along the way, he encountered many powerful formations, causing him to have no choice but to give up. Old Senior, do I need any conditions to see Zilan Immortal Fairy? Chen Shang asked an elder who was collecting medicinal herbs. At least 10 people ask her that every day. You're the 8th one today, and I know many people admire her, especially men. The old man laughed. Then do you always say these kinds of nonsense to those people? Chen Shang scratched his head in embarrassment. I saw her doing it for business. Almost everyone says that. Take out the thing. Only the most expensive thing in the world will let her personally come out to talk to you. The old man stretched out his hand. Chen Shang was thinking about what kind of medicinal ingredients he should take out. He was worried that he would scare the old man, but if it was too terrible, he might not be able to see Yan Zilan again. Do you know what this is? Chen Shang took out a transparent ball, and something that looked like a ball of fire jumped out. It flickered with lightning, and looked like a small ball of lightning that had been bound. This is a... Before the old man finished speaking, Chen Shang hissed for a bit, and then kept the Leihan fruit. The old man was truly frightened, his eyes almost popping out. He did not think that there would actually be an idiot who would sell the Leihan fruit, In his eyes, Chen Shang was just a super prodigal son. For the sake of seeing the Zilin Immortal Fairy, he was even willing to take out such a thing. Now, we should be able to see the Zilin Immortal Fairy. Chen Shang laughed. I'll take you to see her. The old man casually called for someone to replace him, then brought Chen Shang into a small-scale transmission array. Teleported to the highest floor, then brought him into a guest hall. I've already used the communication talisman to contact her. She'll be coming to meet you soon. After saying that, the old man left with excitement in his heart. This was because he had a part in the deal. Yan Zilin was not there. Chen Shang waited for more than an hour before she appeared in the living room. She was dressed very simply, with a purple long skirt, and her hair was simply tied up, but it looked more natural and beautiful, more flirtatious, and her allure was natural. Coupled with her gentle and sweet smile, it gave her the power to captivate people. Young master, I've asked you to wait. Purple Orchid will pour tea for you right now. Yan Zilin laughed as she slowly walked over, her eyes revealing traces of guilt. Her current appearance made it difficult for people to criticize her. Yan Zilin was mostly simple, but her actions carried a sense of elegance and nobility. While she was busy pouring tea, Chen Shang suddenly reached out to her waist and pulled her into his embrace. Yan Zilin was instantly angered. Chen Shang also felt a strong burst of divine power and a trace of holy energy gushing out from her body. Sister Violet Orchid, it's me. Chen Shang laughed softly in her ear using his own voice. Damn brat. Yan Zilin spat and struggled free from Chen Zhang's big hand. Just now, Chen Shang had pinched her waist, causing her to blush slightly and become even more enchanting. Although Chen Shang had made a sudden attack, Yan Zilin did not let the teapot in his hand reveal any of the tea in the least. Have you never seen a woman before? Yan Zilin became a little more casual, rudely pouring him some tea, and then sitting at the side, no longer being polite with him. In any case, they were on the same side, and also a perverted little rogue. It's just that I haven't seen such a likable woman like elder sister Zilan in a long time. Chen Shang chuckled as he looked at her. He finished his cup of tea and passed the teacup over to Yan Zilin. After Yan Zilin helped him fill the pot, she said bitterly, even so, you can't be so careless. I almost beat you to death just now. I really don't want you to die that early. I missed Sister Viola so much that I couldn't help but want to hug you. Chen Shang laughed. After changing back into her appearance, Yan Zilin could not help but look at him twice. In the past, Chen Shang was indeed just a little kid to her, but now, she had a kind of mature aura, and had a kind of strange charm. Why are you looking for me? Is it very important? Yan Zilin asked softly. It's very important. Only by being able to help me. Chen Zhang's expression became serious. Then don't talk here. Follow me. Yan Zilin stood up and brought Chen Shang to her own room. Chen Zhang's current situation was extremely dangerous, so she naturally had to prevent Chen Zhang's matter from being leaked out. The moment Chen Shang entered her room, he was lying on her soft and fragrant bed. He remembered that when he taught Yan Zilin the cultivation methods in the past, he was on the bed. Damn brat, stop messing around. Yan Zilin walked over and pinched Chen Zhang's thigh, but her jade-like hands were suddenly grabbed by Chen Shang. With a light pull, Yan Zilin let out a cry as she lay on Chen Zhang's body. Let me go. Yan Zilin screamed and struggled out of Chen Zhang's grasp. She laid on the side of Chen Shang, pouted her lips, and looked at him grudgingly. Did you feel that you have become stronger, then came to find me, bully me, and do naughty things to me? Did you have this bad idea a long time ago? After Yan Zilin finished speaking, he leaned his head over, kissed Chen Zhang's cheeks, and said in a tender voice, quickly tell me what business you have with me, I'm quite busy right now. Chapter 1483. Chen Shang took out the leihan fruit and handed it over to Yan Zilin. Yan Zilin had thought that Chen Shang had only taken out the leihan fruit to meet her, but he never expected that he would really sell it. You're so poor, you should keep such good things. You lack spiritual crystal, I'll think of a way for you. Yan Zilin returned the leihan fruit to him. All these years, I've accumulated quite a few spiritual crystal, I'll give them to you first. Yan Zilin's way of handling it moved him a lot. He shook his head and said, I will not do so, I am only using immortal grade medicinal herbs, and I need a lot of them. I know that's not easy to obtain. Chen Shang had made a few leihan fruit long ago, so he took one out to exchange for some medicinal herbs. However, he would not give it to others so easily, as he did not want these leihan fruit to fall into his hands. Immortal ranked medicine were much more precious and would not be easily bought with spiritual crystal S, especially when there was a large amount. Right now, Chen Shang didn't have the leisure to use the creation divine liquid to copy a large amount of medicinal herbs, so he could only do it faster. Leihan fruit can't be given to those devils to exterminate, so you have to find a good buyer, Sister Zilan. I want to exchange with him for a batch of medicinal ingredients. This shouldn't be a problem for you, right? Chen Shang asked. The wife of the God Lightning King has always wanted to have a thunder soul, so she is the best choice. Don't worry, the Divine Thunder Immortal Country and many other great powers have enmity with each other. They won't provoke you in the future, as long as you don't cause trouble for them. Yan Zilan said, and she felt a little ashamed in her heart, because she was unable to help Chen Shang. I'm really useless, I can't help much. Yan Zilan faintly sighed. You've already helped me a lot. Chen Shang stroked the hair on her forehead with his finger. Where are your little sisters? Are they not with you? Yan Yao is going to cultivate with her grandfather. When Yun Zhu and Bai Xing go out to gain experience, it might take a very long time before we can meet. Each of us has our own path to walk on, there will be no feast that will not disappear. Yan Zilan looked at Chen Shang gently and held Chen Zhang's hand, gently stroking the back of his hand and said, You have experienced so much at such a young age, you must have suffered a lot, right? Chen Shang laughed. It's nothing, I'm just like that. Oh right, the matter of getting me the ingredients must be kept a secret, I cannot let others know, the medicinal ingredients I need are for cultivation, high-quality ones will do. Yeah, I'll say hello to them first. Yan Zilan took out a piece of communication jade symbol paper. Sister Zilan, your divine soul is rising very quickly. Chen Shang felt Yan Zilan's powerful divine power. I'm just a weak girl. If I don't become stronger, I'll be easily bullied. Yan Zilan chuckled. Whoever dares to bully you, I'll beat him up. Chen Shang waved his powerful fists. Now, other than you, damn brat, who else would dare to bully me? Yan Zilan laughed, just beat yourself up. Seeing Yan Zilan's mischievous look, Chen Shang extended his hand out and rubbed her face, making her scream repeatedly. She started to play with Chen Shang on the bed, and Chen Shang also took advantage of her, causing Yan Zilan's face to be touched by Chen Zhang's hands. The jade talisman on the bedside suddenly trembled, and Yan Zilan shouted, Stop messing around, you have to do something serious. Chen Shang let go of Yan Zilan who was in his arms. He was overwhelmed by the feeling of his hands, and smiled at Yan Zilan who was disheveled, wanting to see through the exquisite jade body inside. They promised, I'll go and get the medicinal ingredients for you right now. You won't meet them, and they won't meet you either. That should be enough of a secret, right? Yan Zilan took out a gorgeous purple dress from the closet. She took off the set of simple clothes she was wearing in front of Chen Shang. Her body was completely covered by a few layers of purple silk at two hidden places, her snow-white, long, beautiful legs, slim, jade waist, small, cute navel, and beautiful collarbone they were all being revealed to Chen Shang, which made him feel extremely hot. However, he didn't manage to look for long before Yan Zilan put on that luxurious purple skirt of hers. After that, she quickly tidied her hair, showing that she was going to meet an important person. Yan Zilan stood by the side of the mirror and looked at Chen Zhang's silly look. He chuckled, haven't you seen enough? Furthermore, you do not only have that little deity girl, right? Quote. Back then, within the Zilan mountain valley, there was a group of girls who had gathered. Yan Zilan was more or less able to make out some things. Sister Zilan, you shouldn't have seduced me. I've fallen for you. What should I do? Chen Shang rubbed his hands together as he smiled. So you've never liked me before? Yan Zilan smiled charmingly. Do you want me to like you all the time? Chen Shang had already arrived behind Yan Zilan and hugged her gently. Yan Zilan slightly struggled free from Chen Shang, and said tenderly, I want to go see the future Thunder Dao Double Venerables, this couple is very powerful, you better not leave any traces on me, they will find out. Oh, they actually dare call themselves the future Senior Lei. Chen Shang was a little surprised but also a little skeptical. This is not an exaggeration. Back then, Divine Thunder Immortal Country was surrounded and annihilated by many forces, the couple has always been thinking about this enmity. This couple has been in charge of this place for a very long time, they definitely have something to say. Yan Zilan said, I occasionally meet Zheng Rong, which is why I am able to stay here and enjoy life. Zheng Rong, is that the female Thunder Sovereign over there? Chen Shang asked. What a violent woman. You might have a chance to meet her in the future, but that won't do right now. If they see you now, they will definitely want to rope you in. Yan Zilan said. Okay, I'll wait here for you. Chen Shang nodded his head. I have already provoked a very powerful guy, I don't want to provoke this couple anymore. Oh, haven't you provoked enough people? I didn't think that there would be people who would give you a headache as well. Yan Zilin was shocked, but his face was full of smiles. It's a woman, the wife of hundreds of Flowers Palace. There's a conflict between us. Chen Zhang's face carried a trace of anger. Isn't your recognized sister her disciple? Yan Zilin was a little confused. There's something wrong with this woman, she's hard to get along with, and she hates men, so she hates me. Chen Shang spread his hands. It's you who are unprepared for her, or it's you who are unprepared for her hundreds of Flowers Palace sisters. It's not strange that she would hate you. Yan Zilin chuckled. Chen Shang said with a serious expression, she wants me to surrender, wants me to bow my head to her, and wants to control me, but I refuse. This woman is very dangerous, other than her own people, she knows how to scheme against everyone else, and she is also scheming against you ruthlessly. Right now, she wants to control me, so that when DTN reappears, she can get my dragon vein. Her ambition is not only for the new 9 emperors but also for the position of 10 Heavens Supreme Lord. Chapter 1484. Yan Zilin frowned slightly and said, so that means, she might do anything to you. If she's that ambitious, DTN's resources and position in the future will definitely be extremely important to her. She somewhat understood what kind of conflict existed between Chen Shang and herself. LV Kilian wanted to rope him in, but the method was not very gentle, so Chen Shang was unhappy. During this period of time, she will definitely monitor the market for immortal medicines. She will even interfere and prevent me from buying them, because I've previously gone to find her and asked her to sell me some. Chen Shang said, so this must be kept a secret. This divine lightning heavenly kingdom definitely has a very close relationship with the hundreds of Flowers Palace. Yan Zilin and Flower Emperor have a lot of interactions, and the two of them are both women. If Flower Emperor finds out about this transaction, she will definitely make Thunder Dao Double Venerables no longer bother with you. Quote, I'm worried that she might have set her eyes on you. In order to deal with me, she must have collected everything about me. Chen Shang frowned, he did not want to implicate others. It's fine, at most I'll just change locations. If it's really not possible, I'll go to the Frozen Dragon Asgard. I know that it won't cause the Flower Emperors there to lower their heads. Yan Zilin caressed his face, I'll be back soon. After Yan Zilin left, Chen Shang laid on his clothes, thinking while waiting for Yan Zilin to return. If LV Kilian doesn't care what methods he uses, then don't blame me. This is my bottom line. Chen Shang started to worry. He really didn't want to become enemies with LV Kilian, but based on LV Kilian's current situation, there was a high possibility that the two of them would become enemies in the future. A mere Flower Emperor is nothing. With my Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord here, I will help you subdue her and make her your slave. Every day, I will make her wait on you naked. Long Shui laughed sinisterly. The idea is not bad, but it's not very realistic. Chen Shang laughed. More than 2 hours had passed and when Yan Zilin returned, he immediately jumped out of bed in excitement. However, when he saw that Yan Zilin's face was extremely ugly, he knew that the trade was not going smoothly. Chen Zhang's face darkened. What's wrong? Yan Zilin bit her lips lightly as she said with a wronged expression on her face, I can't stay here anymore. I didn't think that the relationship between Flower Emperor and Zheng Rong would be so close. That Leihan fruit was taken by Zheng Rong, and she didn't give me any medicinal ingredients. Quote. Yan Zilin was already crying, seeing her haggard face, he anxiously walked over, her voice became cold, you resisted. That's yours, and it's so precious I can't let them steal it, but Yan Zilin spat out a mouthful of blood. Don't be sad, isn't it just a fruit? So what if it's lost? As long as you're fine, then don't do anything stupid next time. Chen Shang wiped off the blood at the corner of her mouth and took out a piece of the jade dragon flower's petal, putting it into her mouth. It was my fault that you suffered. Chen Shang comforted Yan Zilin, but his heart was filled with rage. Flower Emperor had already touched his bottom line, and the future Thunder Dao Double Venerables had even made him extremely angry. Yan Zilin had already fainted. At this time, Long Shui said in a serious tone, there are experts approaching, and it's even 2 of them. Leave this place first. Chen Shang placed Yan Zilin inside the ring and teleported away. He hid in a corner and looked at the burly couple that entered the Divine Lightning Hall with an angry heart. Not only did they steal my Leihan fruit, they even injured Zilan. I'm not done with you. LV Kilian, just you wait. Chen Shang clenched his teeth, looked at Divine Lightning Hall, and turned to leave. When LV Kilian and Chen Shang drew a clear line between the two, he had to inform many of the experts that were working with her. If anyone wanted to purchase a large quantity of immortal medicine ingredients, he would have to tell her the details immediately. So when Yan Zilan told the Thunder Dao Double Venerables that he was trading with the Thunder Soul, Zheng Rong immediately sent someone to tell him that LV Kilian was definitely going to trade through Yan Zilan, and she immediately got the Thunder Dao Double Venerables to reject him. She also told them that the owner of the Leihan fruit was Chen Shang, and told them to be careful with it. However, the Thunder Dao Double Venerables wanted to obtain the Leihan fruit. Because the Leihan fruit were very precious, they decided to rely on their own powerful forces to take it for themselves. Yan Zilan was not willing to, but at that time, the Leihan fruit was already in Zheng Rong's hands. She wanted to snatch it back, but Thunder Dao Double Venerable struck her hand at the same time and threw her a bottle of healing pellet, telling her to go back. You all how are you going to deal with that? It's about Yan Zilan exchanging the Leihan fruit for a large amount of immortal herbs. LV Kilian's heart was not at ease, so he personally made a trip to Divine Thunder Immortal Country. Nothing, we originally planned to not use medicinal pellets to exchange for Leihan fruit and use other things. However, Yan Zilan refused to do so and acted presumptuously in front of us, as he wanted to snatch back the Leihan fruit in my hands. Zheng Rong said. Zheng Rong was a very tall, strong lady, her body was tall and sturdy. If not for her sturdy body, she would have been even more beautiful. Then, we'll attack together and strike her once. Our attack will be very light, and we won't die. She could tell that her relationship with Yan Zilan was only a lie and she only took a fancy to Yan Zilan's ability and allowed Yan Zilan to be of use to her. LV Kilian took a deep breath, and her face changed several times. She knew that the situation had turned serious. I went to find her and wanted to give her some compensation, but she's gone. Hearing these words, for some reason, LV Kilian's heart suddenly jumped, and his face suddenly became deathly pale. Could it be that you guys didn't know that the Leihan fruit was Chen Shang? I seem to have already told you about it. I know, what's there to be afraid of? Isn't he just a little brat? Although I admire him a lot, but if we need him, it won't be difficult to capture him and make him work for us. Zheng Rong sneered. She saw that LV Kilian's expression was strange, and asked, what's wrong? Nothing, just prepare yourselves. No one knows when the catastrophe will befall you in the future. LV Kilian left immediately, but Zheng Rong did not take those words to heart. Returning to the Hundreds of Flowers Palace, LV Kilian immediately called for little Lizzie. Because of me, a friend of Chen Shang has been severely injured, and the conflict between Chen Shang and I might not be resolved. Go to the Ancient Star Immortal Palace and find out what he has to say. Asgard Mistress I have gotten along with him before. He's a good person, so it might be better for you to go by yourself. Little Lizzie said. I won't go, take this to him. LV Kilian passed a jade bottle to little Lizzie. This is a healing pill. Little Lizzie sighed in her heart. Of course she knew LV Kilian's personality, she could only make a trip to the Ancient Star Immortal Palace. However, she didn't see Chen Shang, hence she handed the bottle of pills over to him. Chapter 1485, Yan Zilan slept soundly in the ring, but his injuries were much better now. He proceeded towards the main hall of the Hundreds of Flowers Immortal Country and arrived at the 100 Flowers mountain range. He came to look for Grandma LV. The moment he landed on the mountain peak, Grandma LV came out on crutches. Kid, did you fall out with my little girl? Grandma LV said with a smile. She had already guessed that such a thing would happen. She came to see you. Chen Shang asked, otherwise, how would the Grandma LV know? I've come once, but that was many days ago. It seems like she's still the same as before and didn't listen to my advice. This girl has always been very obedient, and it's time to teach her a lesson. The deeper the better. Grandma LV sighed. Why did you and her fall out? Have you made a dead end? Grandma LV asked. Chen Shang was startled. He suddenly realized that it was a fight between the two of them, and then they came to complain to the elders, and the elders patiently guided them. She went too far. Because of her, a good friend of mine was severely injured. Chen Shang told the Grandma LV about LV Kilian stopping him from buying a large amount of medicinal ingredients, which resulted in Yan Zilan being heavily injured by the Thunder Dao Double Venerables and his Leihan fruit being snatched away. Grandma LV frowned. She had some understanding of Chen Zhang's personality. When Bai Ziqian came to find her, he told her a lot of things about Chen Shang. What are you going to do? Grandma LV asked. They heavily injured my friends, and they will also have to pay a heavy price. As for LV Kilian A, I won't let her off easy either. Although I'm still weak right now, I will remember this in my heart. Sooner or later, I will teach her a lesson. Chen Shang calmly said, Grandma LV, you won't help her deal with me in the future, right? Hee, of course not. I am her mother, but now that she has grown up and doesn't listen to me, she has to take responsibility for everything. I just hope that she won't go overboard and get a lesson from me. The Grandma LV said. I will measure it. Right, has anyone come looking for you? Chen Shang asked. The little child has come. He's a good seedling. I told her to go out and work, so she isn't here right now. The Grandma LV smiled amiably. He is much more obedient than my woman, although he is also a restless man. Bai Ziqian was restless in the first place, if not, he would not have used the super old poison to kill people. Then I'll be going. I'll come back when I have time. Just as Chen Shang was about to leave, the Grandma LV called out to him and asked, how do you plan to teach that girl in my house a lesson? LV Kilian was her daughter after all, so it would be impossible for her not to worry. Although Chen Zhang's current strength wasn't too strong, Grandma LV wasn't as arrogant as him. She knew Chen Zhang's potential, and knew that he must have hidden many powerful techniques. Just as Chen Shang was about to turn his head to answer, Long Shui had already answered for him, it's her. Hearing this answer, Grandma LV was stunned. Chen Shang secretly scolded Long Shui for a few words, then laughed and said, it's a joke. You little rascal, not as kind as I thought. Grandma LV laughed, this old man and I do not want a son-in-law like you. Furthermore, you already have a woman, I think there are quite a few of them A woman like your daughter can't find a man in the first place, and I don't want to marry her either. A woman like your daughter can't find a man in the first place, and I don't want to marry her. Chen Shang laughed. Don't say those words in front of her. If you do, I won't be able to save you. But she also really wants to conquer you and make you her capable subordinate. She is completely loyal and obedient, and I feel that you are the only man she wants to conquer in her entire life, and you, in these 9 days, dare to say it out loud. You guys still resemble her quite a lot if you want her to be her #1 slave. Chen Shang had also said these words in front of little Lizzie. Right now, he kind of hoped that little Lizzie would pass these words to him, and he really wanted to see how LV Kilian would react. After leaving the 100 Flowers Mountain, Chen Shang had decided to start planning a plan to deal with LV Kilian. However, the most urgent matter at the moment was to raise his strength, so that he could defeat 2 Divine Palace Protectors S and obtain their things. After returning to the devil-suppressing Divine Palace S in the ancient Star Immortal Palace, he let Yan Zilan out and placed her on the same bed as before. At this moment, she was still unconscious. Chen Shang gently caressed Yan Zilan's beautiful face that had recovered its color and sighed, Sister Zilan, I will definitely get it back for you. Walking out of the room, Huang Jintian sat in the hall and threw him a jade bottle. This is what little Lizzie gave you. What happened, to actually give out such a precious healing pellet? This pellet can be sold for 20 to 30 million spiritual crystal. How many are there? It's even over 100 million. Chen Shang opened the jade bottle and smelled the fragrance of the pill. Grade 3 healing pill, B1 Dan. In the past it was a pellet of 50 or 60 million spiritual crystal, and was extremely useful to late Immortal King. Su Meiyao said, looks like Flower Emperor knows about the serious matter as well. Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu had both been taken care of by LV Kilian before, so she didn't want Chen Shang to become enemies with him. However, they understood the current situation, so they couldn't give him any advice and could only let Chen Shang settle the matter in his own way. Give it back to her. Chen Shang said. Master, return this to little Lizzie, she's in the devil-suppressing Divine Palace of the 100 Flowers main palace. Did I hear it wrongly? There has always been a little brat that did not take advantage of the situation, yet he actually wanted to return this sort of thing. Huang Jintian said in shock. You are acting so rashly, this is the first time I have seen a child like you. Huang Jintian laughed and said, have you decided, selling this is worth a lot of spiritual crystal. I was only bought by her after considering it carefully. Chen Shang snorted, he had backbone. Huang Jintian immediately guessed that Chen Shang was fighting with someone he knew, if not the other party would not have sent him such a precious pill. He sat down and crossed his legs. Tell me, maybe I can give you an idea. Chen Shang told Huang Jintian about Yan Zilan's injuries. It looks like Flower Emperor is going to block your way, but she didn't think that Thunder Dao Double Venerables would steal your Leihan fruit and even injure Yan Zilan. Huang Jintian frowned because they were about to deal with the Thunder Dao Double Venerables. How about this? I will return the pill to them first, and then ask about the affairs of the Thunder Dao Double Venerables. Right now we are not strong enough to fight against them, but we still have to do something. The Leihan fruit can't be taken away for nothing, we have to make them suffer a great loss. The value of a Leihan fruit far exceeded that bottle of healing pellets, and not only was it stolen, the woman at Chen Zhang's side had even been injured. That was what made Chen Shang the most furious, so Huang Jintian knew that Chen Shang would definitely take revenge against him. Chapter 1486. Yan Zilan woke up and walked out of her room. Seeing Chen Shang flipping through some things in the hall, she walked over and saw that they all contained information regarding the Thunder Dao Double Venerables. Sister Violet Orchid, are you all right? Seeing that her complexion was good, Chen Shang heaved a sigh of relief, and asked with a smile. It's nothing serious, the jade dragon flower is powerful indeed. Even without refining pills they have this effect. Yan Zilan shook her head lightly, then picked up the thing on the table and looked at it as well. You really have to deal with Thunder Dao Double Venerables. Chen Shang said. Unless they return the 10 Leihan fruits to me and apologize to you, I will not let this matter rest. Where's the Flower Emperor? Yan Zilan was more worried about this. She knew that the Flower Emperor was even more powerful and it was even a woman. She only told Thunder Dao Double Venerables not to sell you any medicinal herbs. It's okay, I have a conflict with her. It's normal that she doesn't sell to me. I don't have a grudge with her. She's just an opponent. If I want to destroy her, she has to destroy me. At the moment her methods are quite gentle, but in the future it's hard to say. I don't want to become mortal enemies with her. Chen Shang said. At this time, Huang Jintian walked in and he gave all the information to Chen Shang. He smiled and said, it's just that Liang Wangyang is up and down. This couple has a very arrogant son. They are currently in charge of a relatively large immortal palace in the Divine Thunder Immortal country. Yan Zilan was naturally on Chen Zhang's side now, so the friendship between her and the Thunder Dao Double Venerables had completely disappeared without a trace when she received the palm strike. She knew that in the eyes of that couple, she was nothing more than a tool, but Chen Shang truly cared for her. Chen Shang thought for a moment, then looked at Yan Zilan and asked, those powers who normally have big deals with the Divine Thunder Immortal country are. Hundreds of Flowers Immortal country usually provides a large amount of high-level medicinal ingredients in exchange for Divine Thunder Immortal country's spiritual crystal S and a large amount of formation-setting resources. There are a lot of these things in Divine Thunder Immortal country, and the ones who purchase the most high-level medicinal ingredients from Divine Thunder Immortal country are usually Fire Divine Palace and Imperial Dragon Clan. Said, she looked at Huang Jintian. Huang Jintian was disguised now, she could not recognize him, but to be able to speak of such an important thing to Chen Shang, he must be someone that Chen Shang could trust. Huang Jintian said, didn't Fire Divine Palace have enmity with Divine Thunder Immortal country? I heard that back then, they fought in full swing. Divine Thunder Immortal country needs some fire attribute spiritual crystal S that Fire Divine Palace can provide. Their lightning and fire combination can get an even stronger energy, but the fire attribute spiritual crystal Fire Divine Palace has the most. Yan Zilan had stayed in Divine Thunder Immortal country for a period of time, so he understood this very well. We will impersonate the Imperial Dragon Clan and then order a large batch of high-grade medicinal herbs from the son of the Thunder Dao Double Venerables. Chen Shang looked at Yan Zilan, and asked, there shouldn't be a problem, right? Can you make the arrangements more suitable? It would be best if the quantity reserved was the most, and not be seen through, or made a deal with the son of the Thunder Dao Double Venerables. The most important thing is to not let the Flower Emperor know about it. Huang Jintian and Yan Zilan immediately understood what Chen Shang meant, and secretly praised how ruthless his methods were. Since he could not buy it, he would just snatch it from her. Furthermore, it would be his enemy who stole it, because the Thunder Dao Double Venerables stole one of his Leihan fruit. Their sons are not weak. Although they are very arrogant, they are not stupid. There are also several experts around them. Yan Zilan said, although this method was not bad, but it was extremely difficult. Huang Jintian laughed. That's true, as long as he can bring along a large amount of high-leveled herbs. The son of the Thunder Dao Double Venerables already has a large amount of high-level medicine, and I have to borrow it from him a few times. It should be because the Thunder Dao Double Venerables is going to help him in the future so that their son can become more powerful, so you guys can go as either Imperial Dragon Clan or as Fire Divine Palace's men. Yan Zilan said. Imperial Dragon Clan and Fire Divine Palace, every purchase is a large one, he should have a lot in reserve. Sister Zilan, what plans do you have for the future? Go to the Ice Dragon Immortal Palace, you won't be bullied there. Chen Shang said. Yan Zilan laughed. I will go, but not now, I want to walk around. Then be careful, Chen Shang hugged her lightly. Yan Zilan kissed his forehead. Damn brat, you're the same as well. Chen Shang sent Yan Zilan off. When he returned, he saw Huang Jintian sitting there and said with a smile, Damn brat haha, I never thought that you would have the Zilan Immortal Fairy in your hands. Quote. Old madman, Chen Shang cursed in a low voice. We're going to the Divine Thunder Immortal Country's Golden Thunder Immortal Palace right now. Lei Jinli is the only son of the Thunder Dao Double Venerables, we have to give him a good beating. After Chen Shang and his disguise, when they come to the Golden Thunder Immortal Palace, they could cultivate the dragon power, so it was easy to impersonate an Imperial Dragon Clan, not to mention that Chen Shang had even grasped the power of the Holy Dragon. Chen Shang disguised himself as a middle-aged man, dressed very extravagantly. The groups that served him were all of the Imperial Dragon Clan, and normally only the powerful people would be able to tell. Long Shui had taught him to do this. Huang Jintian was a follower, but the power he displayed was much stronger than Chen Shang. However, was even more surprised by Chen Zhang's identity. To have such a powerful follower, his identity must not be simple. Because of this, Chen Shang was easily able to get an appointment with Lei Jinli at one of the hotels, because the hotel was also Lei Jinli's. Inside a tight private room, Chen Shang and Huang Jintian sat there, waiting for Lei Jinli. Lei Jinli knew that there was a big client and immediately rushed over. He entered the private box and saw that Chen Shang was emitting a very, very weak holy dragon aura. He was secretly happy in his heart, because the holy dragon in the Imperial Dragon Clan was the richest and noblest. I wonder what your name is. Lei Jinli smiled at him. Lei Jinli was a big fellow with a full beard, wearing blue clothes. He was tall and big, giving off a sense of oppression, especially when he did not conceal the berserk thunder power in his body. Long Feiyu. Chen Shang smiled slightly, then gestured for Lei Jinli to sit down. Brother Lei, you should have already guessed why I invited you here, right? Lei Jinli laughed openly and asked, how many items do you need? I prefer people who are direct. Yushan Dan, Tianlong Dan, just how many medicinal ingredients do you have for these 2 pills? Chen Shang asked. Yushan Dan's medicinal ingredients could grow to the highest quality of 3rd stage immortal grade, and was one of the needs of more people out of the immortal grade pills. I can only sell you 50 sets of Yushan Dan, as for Tianlong Dan A there is only 1 set, as for the price, I will accept the spiritual crystal S and also accept them as barter. If it's spiritual crystal S, I will offer a very high price, and normally, I prefer to barter them. Lei Jinli was straightforward and direct indeed. Chen Shang asked, are the items on you? I need them urgently. Chapter 1487. Lei Jinli frequently interacted with Imperial Dragon Clan's dragons, so he was not the least bit wary of them's dragons were also always straightforward, and now he thought that this matter was already more than halfway. I brought it with me. Lei Jinli laughed. I wonder what you are planning to trade for it. I wonder if that is enough. Chen Shang took out a bead. Inside it was a green-colored fire soul. When Lei Jinli saw it, his eyes immediately widened. Then, he laughed loudly, enough, enough. This is my first time doing business with a holy dragon. I never thought that you would be so straightforward. Seeing that the other party had taken out a green fire soul, Lei Jinli immediately took out a storage bag and threw it to Chen Shang. Chen Shang immediately released his spirit sense to take a look. There were indeed 50 batches of Yushan Dan S and a batch of Tianlong Dan S, herbs, but he had not given the green fire soul to Lei Jinli. That's right, let's go. Chen Shang smiled at Huang Jintian. Lei Jinli's heart skipped a beat. He felt that something was wrong, but by the time he realized it, it was already too late. A huge dragon claw suddenly appeared and grabbed towards Lei Jinli. The golden dragon claw and the torrential sword strike caused the entire restaurant to shake because of the violent dragon power, and instantly enveloped Lei Jinli's body. The dragon claw released a wave of energy that caused the entire restaurant to collapse, and Lei Jinli was buried in a pile of ruins. His dragon power was extremely terrifying, even Long Shui started to mutter in shock. The moment Huang Jintian made his move, he was already floating in the air. Huang Jintian then stomped his feet on the ground a few times, causing the entire center of the Golden Thunder Immortal Palace to shake. It was not over yet. Chen Shang, who was floating in the air, was chanting a spell, and suddenly a thick cloud floated from the sky, with dense immortal chi surging from all directions. Dragon's Fury. Chen Shang unleashed his heavenly dragon seal. A dragon's roar was like a clap of thunder, shocking everyone's minds. A huge white dragon split open the clouds and fiercely crashed into the ground, striking into the ruins of the Golden Thunder Immortal Palace, and after that, another shocking dragon roar spread out in all directions, bringing with it the aftereffects of the dragon's fury and punishment, wreaking havoc in the surroundings of the Golden Thunder Immortal Palace, causing a large portion of the houses to become dilapidated. In the center region, there were quite a few experts. When they saw this battle, they all thought that it was the Emperor Dragon who was making a move, because only the Emperor Dragon knew how to use such frightening power and that technique. Chen Shang and Huang Jintian hurriedly left this place and used the transmission array to teleport to another immortal palace. After that, they disguised themselves and returned to the ancient Star Immortal Palace. Not long after, the Thunder Dao Double Venerables arrived with a group of elders. Because the ones who were attacked were their sons, they were severely injured. After the Imperial Dragon clan found out about this, they immediately rushed over to clarify the matter. Although they were not afraid of the Divine Thunder Immortal Country, they were also not willing to take the blame. That bastard Chen Shang, he actually dared to attack us, and even beat up my son. In the past, it was always them who provoked others, attacked others, or invaded others. However, this was the first time they found someone else to cause trouble, and their target was their son. Very quickly, there were many people in the 9 heavens that knew that it was Chen Shang who did it, but very quickly, there were other rumors saying that the Divine Thunder Immortal Country stole Chen Zhang's Leihan fruit, and even injured the intermediary Zilan Immortal Fairy, which was why Chen Shang was taking revenge on him. Leihan fruit, Chen Shang actually has such a thing. If I were to be robbed, I would definitely get angry. Since he can't beat Thunder Dao Double Venerables, he can only go and get their son. When the Phoenix King heard this, he could not help but laugh. He still wants Imperial Dragon Clan to be the culprit. But he still suffered a loss. He only managed to get 50 portions of Yushan Dan S and a portion of Tianlong Dan S, medicinal herbs. That Leihan fruit's value far surpasses that. Phoenix Princess followed behind him and entered the Hundreds of Flowers Palace. When LV Kilian received this news, she was not surprised at all. She had already predicted several ways Chen Shang would take revenge, one of which was to look for the son of the Thunder Dao Double Venerables. She just did not expect that Chen Shang could pretend to be the Holy Dragon of the Imperial Dragon Clan and have Lei Jinli obediently hand over the medicinal ingredients. In order to prevent such a thing from happening, she had ordered that when making large transactions, she must strictly confirm the other party's identity. Only LV Kilian and little Lizzie knew that Chen Shang was now the Hall Master of the ancient Star Immortal Palace's devil-suppressing Divine Palace S, but they did not expose him. I just received news that Phoenix King brought that Phoenix Princess to the Hundreds of Flowers Palace. Huang Jintian said. Right now, he was in charge of taking care of all the devil-suppressing Divine Palace, so he arranged for a few people to gather some relatively useful latest news. Do you know the reason? Chen Shang frowned. I have some friendship with Phoenix Princess, I don't wish for her to work for Flower Emperor. Looks like you can do whatever you want. Huang Jintian chuckled. I heard that Phoenix King paid a great price to have her take me as her master. There's no reason, the Phoenix King wants his daughter to become a disciple of a human being. Chen Shang was in disbelief. There is a reason, because Flower Emperor is not an ordinary woman and she has grasped a mysterious power. Now, she has that seed in her hands. Huang Jintian said. I think that many of the powerhouses would want to give their daughters to her. I have the seed, she gave it back to me. She decided that I can't plant it. Chen Shang said. Huang Jintian's eyes lit up. He wanted to see the seed, but Chen Shang suddenly took out the communication jade symbol paper, which was given to him when he joined the devil-suppressing Divine Palace. It was mainly used to receive important information. The devil-suppressing Divine Palace sent someone over. It seems like they have something important to discuss. I'm in a secret room now, I'll be back soon. Chen Shang left quickly and headed towards the secret room. Inside the secret room was an ordinary-looking middle-aged man. When he saw Chen Shang had arrived, he didn't say anything unnecessary and directly said, Phoenix King went to find Flower Emperor, mainly to work together to open up a path to the outer realm. If you want to go to the heavenly realm, then return to the main hall after 3 months. After he finished speaking, he immediately left. It seemed like he had to go to the other devil-suppressing divine palace to inform them of this important news. Chen Shang still had a lot of questions he wanted to ask, but that person did not answer him. Chapter 1488. Chen Shang immediately rushed to the top floor. When he saw that he was back so quickly, his face was full of shock, and he anxiously asked, "What happened?" "Devil-suppressing divine palace has come over to notify me so that I can prepare myself and prepare to head to the heavenly region. Phoenix King went to find Flower Emperor because of this matter, but this should be a matter between Imperial Feather Race and myself. Why would devil-suppressing divine palace have a part in this?" Chen Shang was very confused about this. Going to the Qingyun realm is an incredible piece of news. I need to go and thoroughly investigate it. It might take some time before I can come back. Huang Jintian was very shocked about this, because not only did one need to be strong to go to the heaven realm, they also needed opportunities. After Huang Jintian left, Chen Shang instructed a few elders, saying that he had to go into closed-door cultivation for a period of time, so the rest of the matters would be taken care of by them. 3 months is not enough time for me to break through to the intermediate Immortal King stage. Chen Shang didn't know what it was like in the heaven realm, but with a strong ability, he might be able to obtain even more benefits in the heaven realm. I wonder what heaven domain it is, and how they found it. Long Shui was very curious about this matter. There were thousands and thousands of people in the heaven realm, and each one was different, but there were treasures inside. In such a short period of time, it was difficult for Chen Shang to raise his cultivation. He had refined the immortal rank Vajra pellet and the sacred animal Dan before, and now that he was refining the Yushan Dan, he had never eaten it before. The ingredients used to refine a Yushan Dan were similar to bamboo shoots. They were called Yuling bamboo shoots and looked like a whole piece of white jade. One only needed a bamboo shoot to refine a furnace of pills, and as for the quantity that came out, it would usually be 1 bamboo shoot. Because it was a shape, Chen Shang could not hold it in his hands to burn it, so he placed it inside the Yanlong furnace. But that was the standard of Su Meiyao's era. And now, with a large amount of time to speed up the formation, even the longest time required was merely a few months, so Chen Zhang's method of refining pills was the fastest. Chen Shang had the experience of refining immortal-grade Vajra pills before, but now, when he was refining this Yushan Dan, he was only using the ordinary and gentle sacred flame. However, Yuling bamboo shoots were weaker than that diamond fruit. If Chen Shang did not control the fire in time, he would destroy a Yuling bamboo shoots. Different from other medicinal herbs, Yuling bamboo shoots would not turn into medicine aura and medicinal powder. Instead, it would melt into a pile of transparent and elastic soft mud, only that the pile of soft mud was very restless and was continuously squirming, as if it was fighting internally. Chen Shang carefully observed the pill furnace. He was surprised to see what was so strange about it, although Su Meiyao had already told him about it. After it completely melts, it is transparent at first. Only after a certain amount of fire is incinerated will it turn white, and during the process of being squeezed, it will become very pure white. It will also emit white light. Su Meiyao said, "Be careful, people who are refined with the foreseeing alchemy very rarely fail, it's just that the time it takes is very long." Chen Shang released the 5-element sacred flame, which was used to burn that ball of transparent mud, and very quickly, it burned to a pure white color. This speed was beyond Su Meiyao's expectations, but he understood after thinking about it, because Chen Shang was using a very powerful sacred flame. After it turned white, it shrunk a lot. At first, Chen Shang thought that he could condense quite a few pills, but he couldn't reach his previous goal. Therefore, condensing 1 pellet is already not bad. Su Meiyao said. Chen Shang had already started to feel that the white object was hard to suppress and could not be stabilized. If it were to continue, once it changed into a different color, this medicine would become useless. In order to not waste this Yuling bamboo shoots, Chen Shang continuously released his powerful divine power, compressing the ball of white soft mud, and quickly stabilized. This made him feel relieved, and he then divided it into 3 groups. 3 pills. It looks like there won't be a problem. After Chen Shang separated them, everything looked very stable. As long as nothing unexpected happened, he would be able to condense the pellet. Congealing pellets was not easy either. Chen Shang had to spend more than an hour to make it into the size of a normal pellet, and the furnace was still shaking. Why hasn't it emitted a strong white light yet? Chen Shang was a little perturbed. He had not opened the pill furnace and the 3 pills had not stabilized yet. This Yushan Dan is indeed hard to refine. Chen Shang clenched his teeth. His face was covered in perspiration. Although concocting a batch of pills did not consume him much energy, it was a form of torture to his mind. As time passed, and the pill furnace gradually stabilized, Chen Shang was no longer as anxious. It took him over an hour to stabilize the 3 pills. After the pill was formed, the 3 Yushan-dan-s inside the pill furnace burst out with intense white light. If Chen Shang had opened the pill furnace at the first moment, he would definitely be able to see a very beautiful, gentle white light spewing out from the darkness. Only after that white light faded did Chen Shang open the pill furnace and look at the 3 high-quality Yushan-dan-s. He let out a long breath, and then, ate one pellet. As the Yushan-dan melted in his body, he felt a few clear streams flowing in his abdomen, gradually converging into a large river, surging and surging within his body as waves of energy gushed out. Under his control, the energy flowed through his limbs and bones, washing his meridians, and at the same time, was refined into pure energy which entered his mysterious dantian, and flowed into the heaven pills respectively into the 5 prime ministers. After becoming an immortal king, the 5 beast statues in his dantian became very clear. When he looked inside, he saw the scales inside, but they were still very small. He then swallowed 2 pieces of Yushan-dan and spent half a night to refine them before continuing to refine them. He was able to refine 2 batches a day, and he had spent more than 20 days to refine almost all of those medicinal ingredients. He only had 1 portion left for later on to duplicate. Right now he had more than 140 Yushan-dan. If he sold them, he would definitely be able to make a huge profit. However, he was not lacking any spiritual crystal. In about 2 months, Chen Shang had refined more than 100 Yushan-dan and then consumed them to refine. Although the effect of raising his cultivation was obvious, it was still far from reaching the intermediate stage of the Immortal King stage. Huang Jintian had already returned a long time ago, but he did not disturb him. When he came out of closed-door cultivation, he saw Huang Jintian eating barbecue meat in the hall. Huang Jintian left earlier to investigate about that heaven realm. Chen Shang was extremely impressed by his ability to gather information, and seeing Huang Jintian's current appearance, he could tell that he had gained a lot. Chapter 1489. Huang Jintian picked up a piece of roast meat and placed it in front of Chen Shang. Chen Shang received it with his hands and stuffed the whole piece into his mouth, then placed it beside the table. "What did you find out?" Chen Shang asked while chewing on the barbecue meat. "Good news and bad news." Huang Jintian laughed. "Let me tell you the bad news first. That the heavenly realm is opened by the combined forces of several great powers, and those fellows are all at least in the 5th cycle of the immortal becoming realm. Among them are Imperial Dragon Clan, Devil Suppressing Divine Palace, Fire Divine Palace, Thunder Dao Double Venerables, Ice Dragon Race, Xie Family, Heaven Sword City, Divine Sword Palace, Divine Artisan Mountain Villa, Hundreds of Flowers Palace, Hundreds of Flowers Palace A. Amongst them, Hundreds of Flowers Palace is the strongest. She was the one who put in the most effort, and although Phoenix King didn't put in much effort, the entrance to the heavenly region was discovered by the Imperial Feather Race himself, and he even gave authority to the Flower Emperor. This way, the Flower Emperor would be willing to take Phoenix Princess as his disciple. Chen Shang interrupted him and asked, "Is this bad news for me?" Huang Jintian said, "Of course it's bad news. Because the Flower Emperor has the right to speak, she restricted the fellow who calls himself Hundreds of Flowers Heavenly Emperor from entering. Of course, even if you weren't called Hundreds of Flowers Heavenly Emperor, she wouldn't allow you to enter." Chen Shang sighed. "Then tell me the good news, and let me be happy for a bit." Huang Jintian laughed. "This is good news to me, because I was fortunate enough to get the invitation. This is all thanks to your big senior brother, who has a good relationship with Divine Sword Palace." "That's not good news." Chen Shang snorted. "The Ice Dragon lineage has helped as well. In that case, I can get Big Sis Long to bring me in." Huang Jintian shook his head. "No, because there is a very strict limit on the number of people. When you enter the heavenly region's gate, those who bring along storage magic treasure that can pretend to be humans will be detected, and there are only 5 spots in the Ice Dragon clan. It should be settled by now." Chen Zhang's face was gloomy, because he could not go, but he could still see it, because he did not use any strength, so it was normal that he could not go. "I didn't expect that because of the heaven realm, there would be many contradictory powers in the 9 heavens. I didn't think that because of the heaven realm, there would be many contradictory powers in the 9 heavens. Huang Jintian laughed. "How about I tell everyone about you eating the golden rock meat before, that way the Imperial Feather Race won't let you in." Chen Shang said sinisterly when he saw Huang Jintian smug in front of him. If you dare, I will expose all of your background. Huang Jintian said calmly. All right, master, you should go over there and remember my portion. Help me bring back some good stuff. Chen Shang said. I wonder what type of domain the sky region is. I heard that it's a heavenly land filled with holy power. Perhaps the stones inside all contain holy power, which is why so many big shots of great powers agreed to open it. Huang Jintian said. This made Chen Shang want to go in even more. Isn't it just a small fight between you and Flower Emperor? Go and apologize to her, and she will let you in. Since she knows your identity and has not exposed you, she shouldn't view you as her mortal enemy. Huang Jintian laughed. It's just a temporary apology. Coming back from the heaven realm is also a good man. Chen Shang snorted. I can do it to anyone, but I can't do it to this woman. If I want to give in, I have to get her to give in and serve me for the rest of my life. Although my days will be good, but who am I to do such a thing? HMPH, I don't believe that I won't be able to get in there. Tell me the location of the entrance to the heavenly domain. Huang Jintian had already prepared a map long ago. He smiled and handed it over to Chen Shang. Study it carefully. I will go and meet up with that guy Wei Quan. I feel that you won't be able to get in, because the Flower Emperor's sealing technique is very powerful. I have already thought of many methods, and it's hard to solve them. Huang Jintian left in a hurry, causing Chen Shang to feel extremely unhappy. He opened the map and looked at it carefully. Seeing the mountains on the map, Chen Shang was immediately attracted by them. He did not continue looking at the positions of the gates to the heaven realm because he felt that the mountains were very familiar. The locations of these mountains are very similar to the formation on the divine book. Long Shui said. That's right. Chen Shang immediately took out the divine book that recorded the many powerful divine formations, and flipped to one of the pages. On the bottom right corner of the page, there was a circle, and inside the circle, there were many densely packed spirit grain and points. Although this circle only took up a small space on this page, Chen Shang believed that this was a very powerful array. He quickly drew a circle on the map, and the distance between the circle and the dot was exactly the same. The gate of heavenly realm is at the boundary of the circle. It should be a space loophole that was forcefully opened. There might be a real door here. As long as I open that door, I can enter it in broad daylight. No one can say anything about me. Chen Shang was excited. The only clues left now was the small circle. He had to study that small circle thoroughly before he could understand the meaning behind it and find the true entrance to the heaven realm. Let's go check it out. Long Shui was excited too. If the heavenly region was filled with things of the sacred energy, it would be of great help to her. Just as Chen Shang walked downstairs, he saw little Lizzie walking into the entrance of devil-suppressing divine palace. You're looking for me? Chen Shang giggled and asked. Did you understand that you want to marry me? Hearing Chen Zhang's question, little Lizzie, who was just nodding his head, immediately turned around and was about to leave. Wait, I was joking. Chen Shang called out to her. What's the matter? Little Lizzie sent a sound transmission to him. Asgard Mistress has asked me to tell you this. If you want to enter that heaven realm, you only need to change your name of Hundreds of Flowers Heavenly Emperor. Really, she was so kind to me. Chen Shang laughed. Then hurry up and announce it. It's time to enter the Qingyun realm. Little Lizzie said. Go back and tell her that I don't want her charity. Isn't it just a heavenly domain? My Hundreds of Flowers Heavenly Emperor doesn't care. Chen Shang waved at her. You can go now. You idiot, little Lizzie cursed, and quickly left. Chen Shang sneered in his heart. Just you wait, see how I walk in openly, you guys all take the side door. The place where the gate to the heavenly region was located was actually in the heaven realm. That place normally seemed to be safe, but it was sparse and had no value. Chapter 1490. Chen Shang waited for little Lizzie to leave for a while before changing his appearance. He entered the transmission array and headed towards the place where the entrance to the heaven realm was located. The location of the entrance to the heaven domain didn't belong to any of the immortal palaces. Because the immortal chi there had been extremely thin since ancient times, it wasn't a good place to build an immortal palace. However, that place was quite famous. It was called the Meteor Mountain Range, and after a period of time, there would be meteor shards that fell into that mountain range. There were a lot of lucky people who picked up some precious and strange stones in that mountain range. Many years ago, it was considered a land of treasure and was explored by many great powers, but in the end, nothing was found. I never thought that this place would also have an entrance to the realm of flame heaven. Could it be that there is a weakness in space between here and the realm of flame heaven? Bai Yu said. Right now, we can be sure that there is a mysterious formation at that place. As long as we can break it open and open the formation, we will be able to get the answer. Chen Shang teleported to the Immortal Palace that was closest to the Meteor Mountain range, and then walked towards it. On the road, he met many people, and they were all going to that place to watch the show, and the news had already spread. Although everyone knew that they could not go in, they still wanted to go take a look. Chen Shang sprinted all the way while analyzing the formations on the divine book, memorizing the spirit grain S. At the same time, he also wanted to find the base of the formation from within. This was the key to opening the formation. This place can attract meteors to descend, and the falling star fragments will carry a large amount of star power. If they fall into this place, they will definitely be absorbed by the earth, perhaps they will be condensed in the array foundation. Su Meiyao said. Chen Shang also had the same thought. It's very possible that this great formation is very big, covering the entire mountain range, and the small circle on the divine book is only the main part. The heavenly realm's big gates were all open, but there was a big array covering 100 li of the gates, making it very difficult to enter. Furthermore, there were many immortal kings, and there were even some tents near the gates. The door was a golden screen of light, and beneath the door were 2 array discs. It seemed like the formation discs were used to block the door, preventing the space from closing, allowing them to enter as they pleased, but the formation discs required a large amount of spiritual crystal S in order to maintain it. However, for the various major powers in the 9 heavens, this was not a problem at all. Haven't they gone in yet? Chen Shang said. He was looking from the top of a mountain, and there were many people looking at the door like him. An old man said, I heard that those powerful warriors have injured a lot of their essence and are currently recovering. Without them leading the way, no one would dare to go in and recover quickly. We can go into that heaven realm together. Without waiting for those people to enter, Chen Shang ran over to the other dozens of mountains to investigate. After carefully searching, he discovered that these mountains were not here to begin with, but had been moved here by someone. These mountains were only about 500 feet tall. In these 9 days, they could be considered quite short. They were like pillars that were erected here. As expected, there is a very weak fluctuation of spirit grain's power inside. It would be difficult to detect it without sensing it carefully. Chen Shang spent an entire day searching the peaks of multiple separate mountain peaks. After many detailed investigations, he finally managed to uncover them by accident, and it was usually at night when there were very faint vibrations, so it was usually very difficult to detect. After discovering this, he was certain that there was a great array here that was concealing something. The difficulty now was finding the foundation of this array. There's so many of these spirit grain, so many. Chen Shang looked at one of the diagrams. He drew the round array inside the divine book on a very big piece of paper and started to look for the relationship between the spirit grain and the other spirit grain. He wanted to find the main array patterns, and the meeting point of the main array patterns was the location of the base. Right now, he could only rely on his understanding of spirit grain and arrays, trying his best to get rid of those that were not. However, it was still very difficult. He took out the mysterious philosophic stone. The interior of the philosophic stone already contained a large number of natural spirit grain. When he cultivated, he would usually use philosophic stone to assist him. When he first obtained the philosophic stone, it was very difficult to use it, but over the years, he seemed to have formed a mysterious connection with it, and the spirit grain he saw more and more in his hands. With the philosophic stone in his hands, he transferred the mysterious power of the philosophic stone into his eyes to look at the diagram. Before long, a lot of patterns appeared within the philosophic stone, turning the array pitch black in his eyes, while the spirit grain on top of it had all kinds of lights. He excitedly took a deep breath, because he could directly see what the array patterns meant, of which red and green were the most, purple and white were the next, and light gold was the least. There were 49 of them, and the place of convergence should be at the base of the array. This is the place. Chen Shang made a mark at the meeting point, then put away the philosophic stone. He did not immediately take action. He had to wait for those people to all enter, or else he would definitely be discovered if he created some disturbance here. Perhaps in the end, he might even be stopped. LV Kilian knows that I know about the art of transformation. She should be on guard against me in this area and would not let me sneak in easily. Chen Shang said. Look next to the door, there's a mirror. Chen Shang said. There are also many dragon sculptures of spirit grain at the sides of the mirror. What does this mirror have to do with the Imperial Dragon clan? Next to the golden gate of the sky realm was a large circular mirror that was very eye-catching. This is the demon reflection mirror, specially designed by the Imperial Dragon clan to break through the effects of the transformation technique. Long Shui said, "It should be the Flower Emperor that got them from the Imperial Dragon clan." Chen Shang scolded himself, "Looks like it's used to guard against me." Although he did not intend to enter the mirror at the moment, he still wanted to destroy it. That thing was a bit of a threat to him as it could break his transformation technique. It was only until the morning did he finally see a lot of people walking out from the tents. What made Chen Shang depressed was that all of them were wearing long robes and a bamboo hat, completely covering his face and body, making it impossible to tell who was in there from afar. It was obvious that they were hiding it on purpose, and did not want others to know who they were. Therefore, right now, no one knew exactly how many immortal becoming realm rankers were left outside, and no one dared to act rashly. This should be the Flower Emperor's scheme, Long Shui said. Chen Shang also thought the same. Chapter 1491. The people that went in were divided into two groups. The first group went in for over 500 people, and the second group went in for over 500 people. Because there was a huge formation covering that area, not even their spiritual sense could penetrate inside, so they couldn't know the strength of those that went in. What's the point of being so cautious? With just their powers alone, what's there to worry about? With the two great powers of both the evil and good here, who would dare to scheme against them? Chen Shang snorted. Who else but you? Long Shui laughed. Chen Shang waited from morning until night, but he did not see anyone enter the Heaven Realm's door again. At this time, the Heaven Realm's door was still open, and had not been closed. There must be an expert guarding this place. Otherwise, if someone destroys the door to the Heavenly Realm, they won't be able to come back. It's time for you to take action, Long Shui said. Chen Shang nodded, following the mark on the map to look for the array base. At this time, it was deep into the night, and a meteor shower actually appeared in the sky. The moment the meteor landed, it was bright and resplendent, and that beauty was enough to make people sigh with emotion. The people who were originally planning to spectate here all became excited when they saw the meteor shower appear. Chen Shang quickly arrived at the top of the array base. According to his discovery from the array base should be at this place, but he did not discover anything. I found it. It's really deep, at least 10,000 feet deep, Chen Shang said. Looks like I'll need quite a bit of time to dive into the depths of the lake. Chen Shang sucked in a light breath of air, released the power of the spatial laws, and punched the ground. Attacking through the air, he created a hole in the ground, then traveled back to the ground and entered that space, where he repeated his attack. He wasn't too far away, so he couldn't take one step at a time. This was already considered fast, otherwise, it would be extremely difficult to dive thousands of feet deep into the ground without being discovered. There's an underground palace below. It looks quite large. I wonder who built it. Long Shui was surprised. She originally thought that she was an array base that could absorb energy, but she never thought that there would be an underground palace here. After a few hours, Chen Shang finally reached the underground palace. There was an empty hall, but in the middle of the hall there was a trapezoidal-shaped stage, with several tens of steps. Just who built it? Chen Shang was filled with curiosity. He felt that this matter was not as simple as it seemed, because it was related to that divine book, and that divine book was found in these sacred grounds. That sacred land was filled with all kinds of dangers. Stepping onto the stairs leading to the platform, he could immediately sense that the interior of the platform was filled with power. It's very ancient. I wonder how many years it has been built for. It seems to have appeared even before the time of the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord. Long Shui said in shock. Look at those spirit grain below, they are all ancient abandoned spirit grain, and some very ancient words. Do you understand those words? Chen Shang asked in shock. He could understand the ancient characters from the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's era, but he never thought that these words would be even older than this. I understand a little bit, but it says that this is called the Sacred Transformation Platform. Continue walking, I want to see if there are these ancient characters on every step. Long Shui urged. Chen Shang walked up. Some did not, and those ancient abandoned spirit grain were useless. This altar can lead to a heavenly domain that nurtures saint force. That world is extremely vast and full of danger. Many powerful individuals went inside and disappeared. I'm one of the few that can return. Long Shui said as he tidied up the messy ancient characters. Did you mention who he was? Chen Shang asked. No, he said he was a blacksmith. The blacksmith was surprised. Could he be a divine blacksmith? This guy is also very mysterious. To be able to create so many divine weapons, this divine book must be related to him, because the divine book contains the refining plans of the Suzaku bow. It's very possible that he is, but the spirit grain that he passed down to his descendants are completely different from the ones that he has mastered the deepest parts of. It's possible that he modified it to refine it into an emasculated version, and I don't know why this is so, but what he really learned should be in the 4 symbols divine weapons and that divine book. Long Shui said, let's go to that heaven realm first. Chen Shang came to the top of the stage and stood inside a circular array. In the middle of the transmission array, there was actually a slot, and it looked like it was placed inside a green dragon demon-slain broadsword. If this place was not built by divine craftsmen, or was modified by divine craftsmen, I feel that the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord has come to this place before. The relationship between divine craftsmen and 10 Heavens Supreme Lord should be very good. Seeing that hole, Chen Shang knew that it was a keyhole, and green dragon demon-slain broadsword was the only key. Chen Shang took out the green dragon demon-slain broadsword and inserted it into the hole, but there was no reaction. He pressed the button again and realized that the green dragon demon-slain broadsword could turn, and after spinning, the green dragon demon-slain broadsword would come out by itself. The transmission array's runes started to absorb the energy that had been gathered here for many years, and the runes started to emit multicolored light bit by bit. When that group of people entered the Saint Realm, they didn't immediately see a large amount of heavenly and earthly treasures. They only came to a world that emitted a faint golden light. The flowing energy here was filled with Holy Spirit energy. After absorbing it into their bodies, they would be able to refine it into holy energy immediately, causing the experts who were struggling in the immortal becoming realm to be extremely excited. This was because it would allow them to save a lot of time to convert the energy within their bodies. The moment they entered, they saw a golden trapezoidal-shaped stage. When everyone wanted to enter, they were blocked by a very powerful force, unable to enter it. Even if a few immortal becoming realm rankers joined forces, they were unable to break through the barrier. Everyone flew high up in the sky. Seeing that there was an array pattern on the stage, they immediately understood that this was a transmission array. A lot of people haven't come in yet. It seems like there's a way in from the 9th heaven, but we can't find it. An old man said. The stones here are all ordinary stones, the interior does not contain holy energy, but from the dense holy energy here, some holy stone with holy energy must be born. The old man from Divine Artisan Mountain Villa said as he crushed a rock and looked around. The Fire Divine Palace suddenly said, look at the transmission array, is there a crack in it that can be used to insert items? Hearing his words, everyone looked at the center of the transmission array carefully. His disciple immediately frowned. It seems to be inserted into the green dragon demon-slain broadsword. We have seen such a mechanism in the evil divine palace. Quote. The transmission array lit up. One of them suddenly shouted. Chapter 1492. Just as he was about to lose his patience, the transmission array suddenly exploded with a burst of white light. He subconsciously closed his eyes, and the moment he opened his eyes, he saw that he was being watched, and all of the people who were watching him were strong experts that he was familiar with. What made him greatly shocked was that Fire Emperor was also here. However, when he saw Flower Emperor's face full of shock, he did not know why he suddenly felt refreshed. Although Chen Shang did not use his appearance, everyone knew that he was Chen Shang. Because only Green Dragon Demon-slain Broadsword was able to activate the array, instantly, countless pairs of eyes were filled with thick killing intent, causing Chen Shang to feel as if he was being sliced into pieces by the eyes of these people. Chen Zhang's expression was extremely ugly. Although he was somewhat pleased that he could enter using the transmission array, he was actually surrounded and looked at by an inhumane crowd. Fire Emperor was stunned at first, then he raised his arm and smashed it down. It was actually a huge flaming palm, the ultimate technique of Fire Divine Palace, the Fire Cloud Palm. Chen Shang was shocked, he immediately channeled all the energy within his body to defend himself. That thick profound WU cover hood was like a huge water ball, wrapping around him. Under the huge pressure of the fire palm, everyone could not help but suck in a breath of cold air. They knew that Fire Emperor was still heavily injured, but he was still so strong. The only ones who could resist would probably be the Flower Emperor. However, the moment the fire cloud palm touched the barrier protecting the teleportation station, it instantly collapsed. Seeing this, Chen Shang heaved a sigh of relief, and almost collapsed to the ground. Ha ha eh, Fire Emperor, you are the only Emperor-level person that has appeared in front of everyone. Look at you right now, hanging out with a bunch of bastards, the more you mess around the worse it gets. No wonder you were beaten like a dog by the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord when you teamed up with them. Chen Shang knew that the barrier was extremely powerful, so he taunted the Fire Emperor without restraint. Although Fire Emperor was furious, he looked calm on the surface. He knew that Chen Shang was purposely provoking him. Oh yeah, why did you come to the sky region? You used irregular means to get here, you better be careful not to get punished. When I came in, there were a lot of ancient words written all over the place. People who enter the sky region through irregular means will all be miserable. Chen Shang laughed, this was all his nonsense. Long Huishan and the mysterious very high elder had both come. The old ice dragon that had entered the evil divine palace with them last time did not come, and then it was Huang Jintian and his eldest senior brother and youngest junior sister. The Phoenix King S and Phoenix Princess S were obviously here as well. They didn't feel too disgusted with Chen Shang being able to enter this place, but they were just a little moved by Chen Zhang's abilities. Flower Emperor's face was calm, but her heart was in displeasure. She had thought of ways to prevent Chen Shang from coming in, but Chen Shang had still came in, and they had to expend a great deal of effort to open the door, even though they spent a huge amount of spiritual crystal S, but Chen Zhang's entrance seemed to be effortless. Everyone was very curious how he found the other transmission array. Many people immediately associated it with the green dragon demon slain broadsword and thought that it was a secret hidden inside. Chen Shang sat cross-legged on the transmission array, with the green dragon demon slain broadsword at his side. He laughed. Quickly go and search for the treasure, why are you staring at me? Huang Jintian suddenly regretted it, because he had restricted himself too much to follow this group of people. If he had followed Chen Shang, it would have been much easier for him to use underhanded methods. We made a deal before, everyone just go your own way. It's fine as long as you pay attention to the danger. Moreover, you can't fight with us here, otherwise, it would be a violation of our previous agreement. The Flower Emperor said solemnly. What if someone attacks us? We should be in an alliance. We should be in the same situation. The expert of Heaven Sword City said as he looked at Chen Shang. The Fire Emperor said coldly. According to our previous agreement, as long as we are attacked, our allies have the duty to help us. Otherwise, we will be surrounded and attacked. That is to say, if I attack you all and you attack me but nothing happens, then I will also be ganged up on, right? Chen Shang laughed. If you're afraid, you can hide inside. An old man said coldly. He came here for the treasure. Although he was an uninvited guest and the enemy of many people, as well as the target of many people's desire, but everyone was watching him closely. They needed to seize every moment to explore this mysterious saint realm. Not long later, they were all gone, but Chen Shang had not walked out of the enchantment. The divine power and consciousness outside could not penetrate through, so those who wanted to communicate with him could not do so. However, the divine powers of him and Long Shui could penetrate through. This group of idiots really have separated. This place is really very dangerous, don't tell me they don't know about the group. Or is it that the Imperial Avian race is smart and wants to follow the Flower Emperor? Long Shui said. Thunder Dao Double Venerables is also following them, making a move on them will be difficult. But forget it, I came here to look for something to increase my strength, hopefully my trip wasn't in vain. Chen Shang waited for the rest of the people to walk far away before walking out of the barrier. Then, he walked into the barrier. This heaven domain is of the same color, moreover, the Holy Spirit Chi is very dense everywhere. It should be very difficult to find treasures from it. Chen Shang walked for a while, before swearing, and here I thought it was a treasure. Looking at the pale golden sky, occasionally letting out a silvery white mist, he asked, what are those white mist clouds? I don't know, there are no energy fluctuations. It's just a special kind of mist. Long Shui said. Suddenly, a gale blew past, lifting up a large area of silver-white fog. Then, a frightening beast roar exploded. That roar was shocking and terrifying, as if it was going to tear apart the sky. Judging from this sound, it should be a very powerful fellow. Chen Shang endured his curiosity and did not walk towards that direction. Although they are powerful, where there are these kinds of powerful fellows, there will usually be treasures. Long Shui said. Many people should be able to pass, but I have the transformation technique. If I'm careful, I should be able to hide. Hearing Long Shui's words, Chen Shang turned his head and rushed towards the direction of the beast's roar. When he was on his way, the beast's roar came again. It sounded even louder, as if it was filled with anger. It must be that they had started fighting with the humans that entered this place. Chapter 1493. The commotion in front was huge, and the sounds of fighting could be heard. Although the ground was trembling crazily, there were no cracks. The things in the sky domain were very sturdy. Logically speaking, there should be a lot of people rushing over to take a look, but why isn't there anyone here? Chen Shang carefully walked forward. They should have an agreement not to steal their prey. It should be like this. I sensed a few auras pass by, but did not approach. Long Shui said. In front of him was a basin. Chen Shang was high up, hiding beside a few rocks, looking at the direction where the sounds of fighting came from. What's going on? Chen Shang saw a faint golden light screen that seemed to connect the heaven and earth, splitting space into two parts. Beside the screen of light, there was a giant, golden lion-shaped beast. Golden armor covered its body as it spat out golden light, and its enormous tail was like an iron whip as it lashed at the ground. Why are they fighting? That person seems like he wanted to pass through the light barrier, but he was stopped by the lion. Chen Shang thought. He carefully observed his surroundings to see if there were any treasures, but he felt that even if there were, it should be in the world inside the light screen. This is someone from the Heaven Sword City, and they aren't the strongest either. I remember there are 5 of them, and there's only one of them left. Could it be that he is trying to stall this savage beast? Long Shui said, inside that light curtain, it should be the true face of this heaven realm. The place we are in should be responsible for nurturing the Holy Spirit's power. Chen Shang suddenly saw a circular array beneath the lion-shaped beast, which could stand around 10 people. That should be the transmission array. He should have entered it. Long Shui said. It seems like this person is in charge of luring this giant lion away and has the other 4 to go in first. Chen Shang suddenly laughed sinisterly. Let's go help that big lion. Chen Shang quietly sneaked over. It was too easy for him to not get noticed if he wanted to get close. Although the golden lion was very strong, he had to protect the transmission array and not let anyone near it. However, the old man from the Heaven Sword City tried to lure the golden lion away. The big lion was angry, but it still stood firm. Bastard, get out of the way! The old man shouted, controlling a celestial sword and hacking at the golden lion's body. Seeing the golden scales, it let out a dang dang sound and did not cause any harm to the golden lion. When Chen Shang got closer, he could see through the huge screen of light that there was a mountain and a lake, like a paradise, and inside, there were also a few figures. They should be from the other experts of the Heaven Sword City, but they did not come, because the transmission array was being sat on by the giant golden lion. Dragon Bind. Chen Shang used a sacred art. The sacred and divine powers in his body merged together, forming a powerful dragon power. After using a divine art, a few small dragons suddenly jumped out from the ground below the old man, and like thick ropes, instantly tied him up. The old man was tied up and hung in the air. The golden flame lion took the opportunity to shoot out a huge beam of light that struck the old man's body, causing him to scream miserably. Chen Shang stopped his cultivation, and the old man fell to the ground, his entire body covered in blood. Chen Shang now had a certain understanding of the golden lion's power. If this attack landed on his body, he would not be able to withstand it. The people on the other side of the light screen saw that the old man was heavily injured and were immediately enraged. They knew that someone was nearby and had made the old man lose his ability to dodge, which was why they were injured by the golden giant lion. In the heaven realm, only Chen Shang would do such a thing. They were immediately sure that it was Chen Shang, and then they were even more sure that it was Chen Shang because suddenly Chen Shang had jumped out and took away all the old man's heavenly pellets and storage magic treasure. Then, he slashed a few times at the old man's body and disappeared. Chen Shang, the old city lord of the Heaven Sword City roared, but his voice could not reach Chen Zhang's side. Chen Shang kept the heaven pellet, and since the storage magic treasure forbade it, other than the old man, no one else could get their hands on it. Chen Shang could only throw it away, and right now, he was right beside the light screen. The light screen was very long. Even after running for over an hour, he could not see the end of it, as if it was a curtain that fell from the sky to the ground. Chen Shang used a lot of methods but none of them were able to pass through, so he could only honestly look for the transmission array's spell formation. There's someone ahead. Long Shui shouted lightly, "It's Flower Emperor and the rest." Thunder Dao Double Venerables, Phoenix King and the others were all with Flower Emperor. The overall strength of this group of people was extremely powerful. In this kind of unknown place, it was the best way to guarantee their safety. After knowing that it was the Flower Emperor's party, Long Shui did not dare to continue investigating, because it was very easy for the Flower Emperor to discover him. Chen Shang could only hide and use the Chaos Divine Eye to observe from afar. They found the formation, Chen Shang said in shock. But they didn't teleport over, could they be thinking about something? Chen Shang was quite far away from the group of people, and he couldn't use his divine soul to look, so he could only rely on his eyesight. However, he could still see that on the other side of the light screen, there was a group of gigantic beasts walking around. They have the most people, there are 10 in Hundreds of Flowers Palace, 15 in Imperial Avian Race and 15 in Divine Thunder Immortal Country. They can only teleport 10 people at a time. Chen Shang said. They are discussing who will be sent to the first batch. Moreover, they do not know the strength of those huge beasts. Has the Golden Rock King arrived yet? Long Shui laughed. It seems like the first batch has arrived. Chen Shang said. The first batch chose the strongest. Flower Emperor, Phoenix King, Thunder Dao Double Venerables, Little Lizzie and that Golden Rock King, along with a few other strong fellows, should be to go over and test the strength of those huge beasts. The transmission array has opened. In the blink of an eye, Flower Emperor and the other 10 rankers suddenly appeared on the other side of the light screen. The moment they appeared, the 10 of them immediately started attacking the huge beasts. Chen Shang reckoned that there were at least 100 of them, and they were all powerful, if not they would not have just been flung out. After being flung out, they would still be able to stand up and charge at the beasts, their bodies extremely powerful. With Flower Emperor and the rest leading the way, the rest of them would be teleported one by one. They were sure that all the good things in the realm of Flame Heaven would be hidden in the light screen. Chapter 1494. After everyone had gone through, Chen Shang turned into a little mouse and carefully crawled towards the transmission array. The battle on the other side of the light screen was extremely intense, but Chen Zhang's side was extremely quiet. So many huge beasts, all of them are giant golden lions. Long Shui shouted. They look very strong, even the Flower Emperor's swords cannot pierce through their bodies. Chen Shang did not teleport over. He only needed to use his mind to teleport over, but right now he was watching a good show. What a powerful golden lion. Although its attack power is not strong, its defense is very strong. It was even able to stand up when it found the Flower Emperor's attack. Chen Shang was extremely shocked. Fortunately, the golden lion didn't chase after him just now. Look, they are all very fast. Although they are big, they are not bulky at all. Long Shui said, there seems to be something related to it within my inherited memories. I'll think about it. After a while, Long Shui said, these guys are called Holy Armored Lion, our white dragon ancestor once met one, and it was an adult one at that. The underage Holy Armored Lion are all crazy, but as long as they are well tamed, they listen to their master's words and when they attack, they go crazy. It seems like these Holy Armored Lion have received orders to protect the transmission array. Long Shui said. So these guys are little lions. Chen Shang said. That's right, he hasn't reached adulthood yet. If he had, then he would be a saint beast. Long Shui said in a serious voice. These Holy Armored Lion were already very strong when they were born, and they become even more powerful with this body size. It should be very rare, but here they are only guarding the door, and this heavenly realm is not simple, there must be adult Holy Armored Lion here. Do these guys have any weaknesses? Chen Shang asked. I'm not sure. Just as Long Shui finished speaking, the group of Holy Armored Lions suddenly stopped their attacks and ran in one direction as if they had received an order to retreat. Long Shui said, there are adult wild lions roars over there. Although I can't hear them, I can see the mountains shaking in the distance. Their roars are very powerful. When it became quiet, Chen Shang immediately turned into a rock, preventing himself from being discovered by LV Kilian. If not for the fact that Thunder Dao Double Venerables was with LV Kilian, Chen Shang would not have been afraid of LV Kilian and the others. He dared to shake around in front of them, but he had injured Thunder Dao Double Venerables' son earlier. This group of idiots, not only did they not teleport back, they even kept walking forward. They are dead, Long Shui sneered. The fully grown ferocious lion was a holy beast. Although LV Kilian and the others were all very powerful, They were all weak in front of a holy beast, unless they had the power of the 9 emperors. Not long after, LV Kilian and his group left, Chen Shang could no longer see them through the screen of light. At this time, he had activated the transmission array, and used a teleportation method to pass through the screen of light. The place they were at before was a light golden color, but after coming over, it became just like the heaven realm. It was clear and beautiful with blue skies and white clouds. Looking ahead, there was a verdant field of life. It was completely different from the lifeless field on the other side of the light screen. There was a huge contrast. This place is filled with Holy Spirit Chi, which is much denser than that place. Beasts that grow up in this environment can't not be powerful. No wonder the divine craftsman said that this is a dangerous world. Long Shui said, this heavenly realm is a high-level world to begin with. It is possible that some of the creatures here have just been born and are already comparable to the strong in the human world. Chen Shang nodded. So this kind of world is separated from the human 9-heaven world, but there are still people who have found the way. Looking at the traces of fighting in the surroundings, those intense battles were not enough to shatter the rocks here. Besides being strong, those rocks were useless, but one could see how powerful the world was. Chen Shang carefully followed LV Kilian and the others. Long Shui believed that they would be attacked by the holy beasts and he wanted to see what the real holy beasts were like. Although he had seen the white tiger before, he didn't think that the white tiger was one of them. The sacred beast's ancient realm that white tiger and the others were in back then could also be a heaven realm. It was just that there was a sudden change later on. Long Shui said. It's possible. Chen Shang maintained a certain distance from LV Kilian and the rest, as they had already entered an ancient forest. Not long after they had entered the forest, the birds and beasts seemed to have been shocked by something, and flew away one after another. The sacred beast has appeared. Hurry up and hide, Long Shui said. Chen Shang immediately turned into a bird and flew up to a tree, hiding in a hole in the tree, and inside the hole there were 2 small rodent-like animals, trembling and cowering inside. In order to not be discovered, Chen Shang had also become this kind of rat. Leaning on the tree entrance, he looked at the group of people in the distance. The saint beast had appeared, but not in the shape of a mad lion. It was a middle-aged man with 2 whiskers and golden robes, and behind him was a man and a woman. The man was young and handsome, and wore a golden robe. Humans. The middle-aged man looked at LV Kilian and the others. Even though he asked this question, he was not sure because the Phoenix King and the others were all beasts. No, those 15 are all little birds, and these 2 seem to be phoenixes. The man said. Long Shui said. Holy armored lion are not the good kind, although it seems that they have not acted yet. I feel that Flower Emperor and the rest are in trouble this time. This is my territory. Not only have you injured our members, you have also entered our territory. Now, you have pulled out your weapons and are full of hostility towards us. I give you 2 choices. The first is to obediently follow us and become our slave. The second is to commit suicide. The middle-aged man squinted his eyes, looking at Flower Emperor, because he knew Flower Emperor was the strongest. Absolutely impossible. A big-sized man immediately shouted. This was one of the Thunder Dao double venerables, his name was Lei Jian. The middle-aged man smiled. Then you guys want us to take action. If you have the guts, come at me. As Lei Jian spoke, he swung his blade forward, but the Flower Emperor did not stop him. You're courting death, Chen Shang said in his heart. When Lei Jian swung his blade over, the middle-aged man did not make a move, but the man behind him did. He waved his hand and released a golden beam of light, which struck the blade and created a small hole. Even though that blade wasn't a holy saber, it was still a pretty good top-grade immortal weapon. The other party had pierced through it with just a single strike. From this, it could be seen that the other party was very strong. Chapter 1495. After the large blade in Lei Jian's hand was pierced, the man had also arrived in front of him. He lightly struck the man and a golden light shone from the center of his palm. The man flashed back to his original position, standing together with the woman in the gold skirt. Lei Jian had also been pushed back by a palm, but there was a basin-sized hole in his chest. In the 9 heavens, Lei Jian was an expert who had a 4 to 5 revolution in the immortal becoming realm, but that man had almost killed him with just a casual palm strike. The most terrifying thing was that man's precise control over his own strength. He had only pierced through Lei Jian's chest, but not his heart. This couple should be the children of that middle-aged man. They are both mature holy armored lion, so that young couple should be considered young holy beasts. Long Shui said. This heaven realm was much more terrifying than what Chen Shang had imagined. Not long after they had entered, they met 3 holy beasts, although 2 of them were lesser holy beasts. Even the normally very confident LV Kilian was now sweating profusely. How could she not see through the strength of the 3 people in front of her? However, she refused to follow them back to become their slave. Now you know how weak you are. The middle-aged man laughed coldly. Hurry up and make your choice. Since you are able to come here, it means that you have some power. It should be of some use. LV Kilian's face suddenly became gloomy, and said to the people behind him, hurry up and run, leave this place to me. Asgard Master A, little Lizzie shouted. Hurry up and leave. LV Kilian's voice was cold and carried a sense of majesty, causing everyone to flee. Seeing that everyone had suddenly run away, the young man and woman suddenly flew out to chase after those people. However, a golden grass appeared beneath their feet. The grass tightly wrapped around their feet, making them unable to move. HMPH. LV Kilian's body trembled, and a burst of golden mist surged from her body. Her hair and dress danced wildly like a witch. As for the man and woman who had been entangled by the grass tendrils, just as they were about to break free, they were suddenly pulled down deep into the ground by the grass tendrils, leaving only 2 pits behind. You're pretty good. The middle-aged man's eyes became ice cold. He waved his hand and a golden light wave was sent out, engulfing everyone who was trying to escape. LV Kilian said in a cold voice, even though I'm not your match, it's still possible for me to stop you. Her hair was scattered all over her shoulders. With a light brush of her sleeves, a burst of white light suddenly surged out from all around the forest, forming a wall of light, blocking the middle-aged man's released attack. This woman is amazing, Chen Shang said in surprise. I didn't expect her to be this strong. No wonder she looked down on me. Indeed, I'm afraid that she's much more powerful than that crippled fire emperor. No wonder she was the one to contribute the most when opening the gates to the heavenly realm. Long Shui never thought that LV Kilian was actually able to fight against the 3-headed berserk lion. Although this ferocious lion is a saint beast, it isn't at the level of a white tiger. It isn't weak at all. Could it be that she's already past the 9 revolutions saint realm? Chen Shang was shocked. It's possible, but she also has a lot of pressure when facing this mad lion. Long Shui said, quickly go. If you continue to stay here, you will also die. A battle of this level, it's best to stay far away. Chen Shang ran out of the tree cave and quickly escaped through the trees. At this time, the young man and woman who had been dragged into the deep forest by LV Kilian had already escaped from LV Kilian's trap. Chen Shang knew that they were all running in the direction of the transmission array, and returning was the safest option. Now, Chen Shang started to understand why there was such a powerful barrier around the teleportation desk. Try to capture them alive so that they can be of use, the woman in the golden dress shouted. Chen Shang followed behind them. He was curious about the purpose of these holy armored lion capturing people. In a short moment, intense movements came from within the forest. The battle between LV Kilian and the wild lion had already begun. Although LV Kilian and her had some conflicts, Chen Shang did not wish for her to be in trouble. This was because she was Mu Chenxiang's master, and also the daughter of the Grandma LV. The commotion in front was not small as well. The man and woman were extremely fast and had already caught up to the group of people who were trying to escape. They were even fighting fiercely. He's dead. Long Shui used his divine soul to observe. Several of them died at once. It was normal for them to have this kind of fighting strength, and those who were running away also retaliated. Phoenix King changed into his original form, and started to fight fiercely with the man. One of them was already heavily injured, and the other one was unlucky. He was injured in just 2 moves. There were no longer any strong experts left in the panicked crowd. The forest gave rise to waves of air currents. Chen Shang was blown away, but he did not know what was happening in front of him. As a squirrel, he could only shake in the aftermath of 2 battles. However, this didn't last long as the lion cub and tiger cub were both small saint beasts and extremely powerful. Dozens of them were captured. Phoenix King and Phoenix Princess escaped, and the severely injured Thunder Dao double venerables were captured. Long Shui said as she watched him with her divine soul. Hi, Chen Shang sighed, and asked, where's little Lizzie? He was also taken away and heavily injured. Long Shui said, only little Lizzie is still alive in the Hundreds of Flowers Palace, everything else is already dead. We don't know why the female berserk lion killed them. Chen Shang sighed helplessly. Little Lizzie was captured by the man, so she didn't die. If she fell into the hands of the female berserk lion, she would be dead for sure. Long Shui said, I think that it might be because the hundreds of flowers palaces women are fighting back too fiercely, moreover, they are beautiful, that Mother Mad Lion is jealous. Chen Shang said, follow them, I want to save little Lizzie. Although she is a little arrogant, she is still a good person. This is equivalent to breaking into a holy armored lion's nest. Long Shui said, but we can try. Maybe there is something good in the holy armored lion's nest. With your methods, if you are careful, you should be able to steal some. Chen Shang had already escaped far away from the crippled forest, but the commotion inside was still very loud. LV Kilian and the big berserk lion were not done fighting yet. Long Shui used his divine soul to carefully follow the pair of little sacred beasts, and Chen Shang followed behind them slowly. He had already been prepared for a long time on entering the heavenly realm's terror, because even the powerful divine craftsman said it was very scary inside. Chapter 1496. Chen Shang secretly followed the two little holy beasts, and after going through a large part of the forest, they entered a valley. Seeing that many holy armored lioness were there, they bent down to greet the two little holy beasts when they saw them. And the others who were captured had ropes that looked like it was made from hair on their bodies, it was extremely sturdy, it was extremely difficult to break free. Furthermore, if they struggled to break free, the ropes would even give off multicolored light, and a few people on the road wanted to struggle free, but were killed after being discovered by the man. Therefore, there were only 9 people left in little Lizzie's group. Their bodies were covered with injuries and they looked to be very serious. This gorge is their lair. Chen Shang turned into a bird and stood on top of a tree in the canyon, observing carefully. At this time, there were a few holy armored lion in the shape of a human, but they were not completely human. They also had many beast characteristics, their hair was golden yellow, their bodies were majestic, and they had a tail, arms, and chest were all covered with golden armor. At the very least, they had the strength of a mortal becoming realm. The man and woman who gave little Lizzie and the others to the ferocious lion beastman were brought into a cave. There were many caves in the canyon, some of them extremely large, so this place should already be the resting place of the holy armored lion. Chen Shang saw many holy armored lion drinking water and playing around beside the river in the canyon, and there were also many smaller berserk lions. Just as Chen Shang was about to move to save little Lizzie, a golden light suddenly shot down from the sky. Father! The pair of small saint beasts immediately shouted. The great berserk lion holy beast that was fighting with LV Kilian had returned, and it was bringing LV Kilian along with it. LV Kilian's entire body was filled with scars as he was thrown to the ground by the berserk lion. He looked at LV Kilian and laughed in disdain, humans are weak. Chen Shang looked at LV Kilian whose entire body was filled with shocking wounds, and couldn't help but sigh in his heart. LV Kilian had lost, and lost so miserably, but it was normal for LV Kilian to be defeated by an emperor. How many are captured alive? Wild Lion Emperor asked. 9. Big Sis killed a lot of women. Wild Lion Emperor said unhappily. HMPH, if we don't kill these human girls, they will confuse the men of our Quang Lion tribe and bring us disaster. Wild Lion Princess was a little angry because her brother was scolding her. Wild Lion Emperor said, all right, lock this woman up. Then, heal the injuries of the 9 people. Father, what do we need these weak humans for? Wild Lion Princess asked, her heart filled with doubt. Although they are weak, their brains are still pretty good. For example, those mysterious formations and things like that, we spent a lot of time but still found it difficult to understand them, but humans are proficient in these and keeping them here would be beneficial for us. But before that, we have to see if they understand the path of formations. The Wild Lion Emperor said, only by knowing formations better than us will they be useful. When Chen Shang heard it, she did not worry about it anymore. At least for now, she would not kill him. Then we have to test them now. If they don't pass, then there's no need to treat their wounds. Just kill them or eat them. The Wild Lion Princess looked at LV Kilian who was on the ground and said fiercely. If she wasn't here, she might have killed LV Kilian. Wild Lion Emperor nodded his head, but for things like formations, they need to have sufficient mental energy to go through. Right now, they are all injured, at least wait for them to recover a bit before they can go through with it. You can supervise them when the time comes. LV Kilian was taken away, but was imprisoned in another cave. Seeing LV Kilian who was taken away, Wild Lion Emperor licked his lips and laughed wickedly. I wonder how it will be like when human girls play, I really want to give it a try. HMPH. The wild lion princess snorted and entered a cave. Initially, Chen Shang wanted to immediately go and save her, but he had another thought in mind, because the wild lion emperor had returned. This was a holy beast, and the other holy armored lion here were all powerful, so if he was discovered, it would be troublesome. Go and check their treasury. They shouldn't have anything like storage magic treasure. Therefore, the good things they got should also be here. Chen Shang said, be careful. Got it. They are all saint beasts, so their food must be pretty good. Hee. Long Shui was indescribably excited. He immediately used the heaven tour to search for treasures. Chen Shang moved further away from the ravine and hid inside a cave. Using the creation divine liquid he had accumulated and made a large amount of drunk god flower S, he refined them into drunk god powder S. His strength was far inferior to those holy beasts, but if he used poison, it might be possible to save his life in the nick of time. I found a place that leads deep underground. There should be something deep underground. However, it is enveloped by an energy and I am unable to penetrate that protective barrier. Long Shui said. Is it something like a spirit formation or something? Asked. It was already late at night. Long Shui had only gotten anything after searching for a long time. No, Long Shui said. If we go, it should be very easy to enter. Although these ferocious lions are very strong, the formations and things like that are very weak. If the wild lion emperor wanted to capture humans alive, it was for the sake of someone helping them set up a formation. Not good, they are starting to attack. Long Shui suddenly shouted. Do what? Chen Shang immediately thought of this the moment he asked this question. I wonder how they healed. Little Lizzie and the others recovered very quickly and began to assess their mastery of formations. A few of them died and were thrown out to feed Guangxi. Long Shui said. Hearing that, Chen Shang immediately let Long Shui look at little Lizzie. He did not want him to die. He set aside the things at hand and rushed to the canyon. He was at the side of the mountain, waiting for Long Shui's orders. Little Lizzie has mastered the array quite well. She has passed. Long Shui said, it seems that of the 9 people present, only little Lizzie is able to survive. The few old ferocious lions of the Guangxi clan are quite proficient in the art of formations. Originally, Flower Emperor and the rest were the strongest and seemed to be the safest. However, now that Flower Emperor and little Lizzie were caught and the others fled, even if Chen Shang did not see this scene with his own eyes, he would not be able to believe it. Where's LV Qinlian? Chen Shang asked. Little Lizzie has not completely recovered either. What plans do you have now? Not only do you want to save them, you have to empty their treasury as well. Long Shui asked. Chapter 1497. I still don't know. I need to get more drunk god magical poison. I will need another 2 to 3 days. Although Chen Shang had a plan, he still had to consider it carefully because the guy in front of him was much stronger than him, much stronger than the half-crippled Fire Emperor. He had to be careful and consider his plans thoroughly, otherwise, if he took one wrong step, he might really die here. In the past few days, Chen Shang had been concocting this strange poison, and observing the life habits of the holy armored lioness. There were a total of more than 3,000 holy armored lion, which was what Chen Shang had observed. Amongst them, there were only 15 that could become beastmen. As for little Lizzie and LV Qilian, they were's responsibility. Their situation is much better now. LV Qilian also passed the formation array test. Furthermore, she is extremely proficient in formation arrays, causing those old monsters to be shocked and excited, hence she received very good treatment. Although her internal and external injuries are heavy, she recovered even faster than little Lizzie. Long Shui said. The fruit they used to heal their injuries was a type of red fruit, it looked like a small tomato. Blood linglong fruit, the lowest quality is immortal, but it can evolve into holy level. The immortal blood linglong fruit is red, while the saint fruit has a golden liquid flowing from it. The red flesh of the fruit emits a faint golden light. Su Meiyao said in shock. We must definitely get hold of something like this. This is a good thing for healing injuries. They only squeezed out some light golden-colored fruit juice for Flower Emperor to eat, but they did not give the fruit meat. Long Shui said. These guys are so big, but very small. We can't blame them for that. It takes thousands of years for one blood linglong fruit to grow. At least tens of thousands of years for one of the saint rank fruits to grow. Su Meiyao said. Is it delicious? Long Shui kept his saliva and asked. I've never eaten before and haven't even seen one before, but it should be very tasty. Su Meiyao laughed. As long as it had something to do with eating, Long Shui would always be very serious. She had already locked onto the location where the blood exquisite fruit was stored. It was in a cave with some vines growing inside. The blood exquisite fruit was formed from those vines, some were green, and there were only a dozen red vines growing inside. Little scoundrel, hurry up and move. Long Shui could not wait any longer. There are too many things to do. First we have to save those two women, then we have to take away the blood linglong fruit, and finally we have to plunder that treasury. Chen Shang said. My drunk god powder is more or less done, I just don't know if that plan will work. Tell me about it, Long Shui said. I might need your help when the time comes. Chen Shang put away the refined drunk god powder and said, first, I need you to create a big commotion and lure the wild lion emperor away. If I cannot do it, the plan will not work, because the wild lion emperor is very powerful and with him here, I am worried. Long Shui thought for a moment, then said, no problem, I will use my transformation skill to create something out of thin air, and lure him away, but I will first use my heavenly dragon seal in the distance, and only when powerful enough energy fluctuations appear in the wild lion territory will he pay attention to it. Then let's begin. It'll be evening soon. When the time comes, the berserk lions will all be drinking water. I want to poison them. Chen Shang snickered. Long Shui began to move, while Chen Shang waited at the upstream of the river. It seemed as if tens of thousands of dragons were roaring crazily at the same time. Although there was no energy fluctuation coming from them, but after hearing that sound, Chen Shang felt very shaken. 10,000 dragons slaughtering the heavens. Hearing that voice, LV Kilian who was trapped inside the cave spoke in a low voice. It's Chen Shang, he's in here too, looks like he's in trouble. Little Lizzie sighed. If we bring him along, we might be a little safer. This guy is extremely cautious. LV Kilian did not say anything. She knew that they shouldn't have come in so arrogantly, otherwise they would not have landed in such a state. Moreover, it would have been safer for Chen Shang to travel alone. Once Long Shui was done, he would be back very soon. Wild Lion Emperor hasn't left yet. Wild Lion Emperor was in the canyon, looking at the sky above. He could see countless glowing dragons soaring, struggling, roaring, and that kind of dragon aura made him, the Wild Lion Emperor, feel a bit of pressure. Following that, countless dragons dove down from the sky and crashed into the ground, causing the earth to shake violently. Waves after waves of energy gales blew over. Father, it seems like quite a few powerful humans have entered. Let's go take a look. The Wild Lion Princess said. I'll go take a look now. These powerful humans will definitely become our slaves. Victory, you follow me. The Wild Lion Emperor said to the Wild Lion Emperor. No, Big Sister will kill those two women if she stays here. Wild Lion Emperor said in a hurry. If you stay here, you will definitely possess those two women. Wild Lion Princess shouted in anger. Stop being so noisy. Kuangyan, come with me. Wild Lion Emperor's face was one layer. That pair of small divine lions did not dare to say anything, but Wild Lion Emperor was full of smiles. Chen Shang started to panic. He knew that little Lizzie and LV Kilian might be in trouble. When the Wild Lion Emperor and the Wild Lion Princess left, Chen Shang immediately put the refined drunk god powder into the water. After the Wild Lion Emperor left, many of the holy armored lion came out to drink. Chen Shang guessed that the water might contain a lot of holy spirit qi, which was why they drank it regularly but not too much. Seeing Wild Lion Emperor walk into the cave, Chen Shang was burning with anxiety. The effects of the refined drunk god powder were pretty good, and very quickly, many of them fell, but some only fell after returning to the cave. Chen Shang anxiously went over to one of the Beastman ferocious lions and used soul-absorbing devil spell on it. The Beastman ferocious lion was extremely poisoned, and looked intoxicated, as if it didn't even know that someone was doing anything to it. After obtaining a few memories, Chen Shang immediately changed into the Beastman berserk lion's appearance, and quickly entered the cave that held LV Kilian and little Lizzie, and from inside, he could already hear Wild Lion Emperor's unpleasant laughter, as well as little Lizzie's angry and despairing curses. Seeing that there was an orc ferocious lion inside, the Wild Lion Emperor was unhappy. However, he was very respectful to the old orc ferocious lion, because he knew how to gather and refine herbs. Elder, I want to talk to them in private. I want to know what the human world is like. You will scare them if you stay here. This Wild Lion Emperor said with a smile, while LV Kilian and little Lizzie's bodies were currently tied up. Chen Shang suddenly had a plan in his mind, and said, Prince, I know that you want to taste the taste of a human girl, but they seem to be very loyal, so if you force them, they will end their own lives. At that time, your royal father will also blame you. Chapter 1498. After all, his big sister was too domineering here, and had to be in charge of everything. Many of the old wild lions were very unhappy with his big sister, and if he were to take charge of the wild lion tribe in the future, these old wild lions would definitely be very happy. Elder, do you have any way to make them agree? Wild Lion Emperor said excitedly. Yes. Chen Shang took out 2 bowls. One of them was a bowl of white fruit juice while the other bowl was red. You drink white, they drink red. Chen Shang laughed wickedly. When they drink red, they will be unable to stop themselves, at that time, they will even beg you and them eh? Heh. Chen Shang said as if he knew it, I stepped on this from the wild. I've done experiments on 2 big black pigs before, this method will definitely work. There were a lot of these evil drugs in the human world, so LV Kilian and little Lizzie were very angry at the elder who offered them up, wanting nothing more than to kill him. Don't you dare kill yourselves. As Chen Shang spoke, he pinched little Lizzie's mouth and poured the red juice into the bowl. Then, he pinched LV Kilian's face and poured the rest of the juice into the big bowl. The taste of human women must be very good. Moreover, the beauty of these 2 girls is top-notch. Even Big Sis is so jealous to the point of wanting to kill them. Wild Lion Emperor laughed and drank the bowl of white liquid. However, just as he finished drinking, Wild Lion Emperor was stunned, and immediately fell limply to the ground, unable to say a single word. LV Kilian and little Lizzie drank the bowl of fruit juice, both of them were extremely worried, but seeing that, LV Kilian suddenly thought of something. Quickly kill him, there is something in his body that is rapidly expelling the poison. Furthermore, that ball of extremely strong power is currently exploding. Long Shui said. Chen Shang immediately took out his green dragon demon-slain broadsword and sliced off Wild Lion Emperor's head, then cut off a few times on his body, took out the beast core, and placed the corpse inside the divine furnace. Seeing the green dragon demon-slain broadsword, little Lizzie and LV Kilian knew it was Chen Shang. LV Kilian thought back to the 10,000 dragons slaughtering the heavens, who was deliberately luring the ferocious Lion Emperor away. I don't have any time to untie it right now, so you guys can temporarily take it with you in this cauldron. Chen Shang didn't care about all that as he threw LV Kilian and her into the divine cauldron together. He quickly rushed into a cave and harvested all the green and red blood exquisite fruits. I have to hurry, my external body will not be able to hold for long, the Wild Lion Emperor is really too fast. Long Shui said. Got it, hold on a little longer. It will be done very soon. Chen Shang rushed into another cave and entered the treasury underneath the ground from this cave. That treasury was a stone room, and when Chen Shang approached it, he felt a very strange energy. Be careful if there are any holy armored lion guarding this place. Long Shui said. Chen Shang rushed into the stone room, and saw dozens of silver white stones of different sizes piled up in one corner. The amount of energy was coming from the inside of the rocks, and on the other side, there were over 100 egg-sized beast cores. Chen Shang took all of them and left the treasury. He ran in the opposite direction from the Wild Lion Emperor without looking back, and not long after he left, the Wild Lion Princess had returned. Because that strand of Long Shui's divine soul was moving extremely fast, and only the Wild Lion Emperor could catch up, she had to return first. Chen Shang used his fastest speed to run in one direction without leaving a trace. He was very far away from the ravine, but he could still hear the terrifying lion roar. Wild Lion Emperor has returned. It seems that Wild Lion Princess's roar has a lot of meaning. Wild Lion Emperor isn't chasing after me. Long Shui said. Chen Shang had originally planned to run to the light barrier that isolated the heavenly regions and return to the teleportation station. However, that place was very far away from the canyon, and when the time came, Wild Lion Emperor would also chase in that direction. Chen Shang took a direction and did not rush towards the inside of the heaven realm. It was just that in the outer circles, after he used soul-absorbing devil spell on the wild lion, he found out a few things. The heaven realm was much more terrifying than he imagined. He thought that the holy beasts were stronger than other holy beasts, but there were more than the holy beasts, and the raging lion tribe's position was not high, they could only own territories outside. Chen Shang ran frantically for 10 days and 10 nights, still using spatial travel and shrinking step. He was already far away from that canyon, but he was still very worried. The place he had come to was a mountain forest with many large stone mountains. Along the way, he did not encounter any powerful beasts, so he suspected that this was still the territory of the Berserk Lion tribe. Only when he met a group of huge white wolves did he feel a lot more relieved. This was because this territory belonged to a group of white wolves of holy light, and this group of wolves had the same strength as the holy armored lion. Chen Shang found a tall mountain, opened up a very deep cave at a place close to the mountain peak that was concealed. After that, he dove straight into the belly of the mountain, carved out a relatively large stone room in the middle of the mountain, and embedded a few large glowing stones into the mountain, causing the stone room to become extremely bright. So tired, Chen Shang had been running for more than a month, and he had also taken more than 10 days to open the gate. After all of this, he took out the divine cauldron and released LV Kilian and little Lizzie who were inside. Although they were tied up and couldn't get anything to add on, they were fine. After all, they were all strong warriors, but being with Wild Lion Emperor's corpse made them feel very uncomfortable. They could all see that Chen Shang was exhausted, but he still used a lot of energy to help them untie him. After he was done, Chen Shang immediately laid on the ground, gasping for breath. Eat it. LV Kilian took out a snow-white pellet and placed it near Chen Zhang's mouth. Even though she was originally very arrogant, after experiencing all these, she had already changed a lot. At the very least, she understood that she wasn't invincible under the heavens. Chen Shang opened his mouth, and then placed the pill into his mouth. No need to thank me. I am only taking you guys for Grandma LV sake. Otherwise, I wouldn't take such a risk. Chen Shang said. LV Kilian understood the danger that Chen Shang had to bear in order to save them. She secretly thought in her heart, if it was Chen Shang who was caught, she would definitely take this risk, and whether she could save Chen Shang. Now, she began to understand why little Lizzie felt that Chen Shang was a good person. Thank you, LV Kilian said softly, rest well. For many days, she and little Lizzie had been tied up by those ropes and were unable to move. The power in their bodies was completely restrained, and now they could eat their own pellets, allowing them to completely recover from their injuries. Chapter 1499, Chen Shang slept soundly. Although he had 2 women who hated him the most, he still felt at ease. When he woke up, LV Kilian and little Lizzie's injuries had already completely healed. This is in return for your gratitude. LV Kilian threw a storage bag to Chen Shang, and inside it, there were 300 sets of ingredients needed to refine Yushandan. You're so generous. Chen Shang accepted LV Kilian's thanks with a smile. I didn't save you for nothing. Then, he looked at little Lizzie and smiled. What about you? Little Lizzie gently clenched her teeth. She was not surprised by Chen Zhang's question. Previously in the evil killing forest, she already knew what kind of person Chen Shang was. I've just given her a share. LV Kilian immediately said. She did not expect that after Chen Shang saved her, he would actually ask for a gift of thanks. It's normal for me to get so much after saving a mighty 100 Flowers Emperor. Think about it, if I don't save you, what would happen to you guys? Chen Shang laughed. If it was someone else, he would naturally not take advantage of the opportunity. But this LV Kilian was different. HMPH. LV Kilian harumphed, and had nothing to say. If Chen Shang did not save them, they felt that it would be even worse than death. To be violated in their chastity, was something they could not tolerate even in death. It's just a joke, don't be angry. Chen Shang giggled. He liked to tease women like little Lizzie and LV Kilian the most, so seeing their current expressions made his heart feel good. All of you have suffered heavy losses. Do you plan on taking revenge? Chen Shang asked. If it was little Lizzie and LV Kilian first, the other girls in Hundreds of Flowers Palace would all die. Of course, I must kill all the berserk lions, especially that lioness. LV Kilian said as he grinded his teeth. About my matters, you must keep it a secret. Do not tell anyone that I was the one who rescued you from the ferocious lion's den. Chen Shang seriously warned the 2 girls. LV Kilian looked at Chen Shang, and lightly snorted. You're afraid that the matter regarding the drunk god magical poison will spread, right? I didn't think that you would actually have such a thing in your hands. This is only one of the reasons. No matter what, I am your savior, and can't possibly not accomplish this right. I am more assured with little Lizzie, because I have saved her once before, and she was able to keep her promise. I was only worried for you. Chen Shang said. Right now, you are my sworn enemy. LV Kilian glared at him and said, if I really want to get rid of you, you simply cannot continue staying in Devil Suppressing Divine Palace. So, the relationship between you and me is quite good, or else I wouldn't go all out to save you. Chen Shang looked at little Lizzie and laughed. Little Lizzie, are you scared by those wild lions? Hurry up and let me hug you. HMPH. Little Lizzie rolled her eyes at him. She was already used to Chen Shang teasing her like this often. Who has a good relationship with you? Don't think too much about it. LV Kilian was a little angry, as if she had a deep relationship with Chen Shang. Chen Shang snorted. The 100 Blossom Emperor's life and control are so cheap, it's only worth 300 sets of Yushan Dan's medicinal herbs. LV Kilian took a few deep breaths. She had indeed almost forgotten that Chen Shang was her savior. I won't say anything about you. When I return, I will provide you with sufficient medicinal ingredients to repay you in a good manner. LV Kilian said, his attitude became much more gentle. What about the alive slain method? Chen Shang was more concerned about this matter. She also knew about it, but she had never mentioned it. LV Kilian was quiet for a while, then sighed. I will help you, but in the end, whether or not you can obtain it will depend on your own strength. That's right. If it was earlier, we wouldn't have been in trouble. Leave your father's matters to me. Even if I can't find any clues left behind, I will think of a way to help you find him. Chen Shang laughed and extended his hand. LV Kilian looked at Chen Zhang's big hand and thought for a while. Then, he reached out his hand as well to shake hands with Chen Shang, but Chen Shang firmly held onto her hand and did not let go. If you don't let go, I will cut off your arm. LV Kilian was slightly angered, and said coldly, don't push your luck. Chen Shang released his hand and laughed. I am only checking to see if your injuries have truly recovered. I do not wish for you to drag me down. Why don't you all stay inside the divine furnace and I'll deal with the corpse inside? Chen Shang said. I don't want to stay in that place. We promise we won't implicate you. Right now, she also wanted to follow Chen Shang. At least, at the time when she and little Lizzie were at their most desperate, Chen Shang had saved them. What plans do you have for the future? If you kill the Wild Lion Emperor, they will frantically search for you. Little Lizzie finally spoke with a somewhat gentle tone. When you're almost done, we'll head back to the Violent Lion's lair. They have all been poisoned by my drunk god magical poison, and the quantity is very large, so it will take them some time before they can be exorcised. Moreover, this is their weakest moment, so if you want to take revenge, you have to seize this opportunity as well. Chen Shang looked at LV Kilian and said, otherwise, I will have to wait until you have truly become a saint before I can take revenge. Seeing LV Kilian lower his head to think, Chen Shang continued, this is probably the most disastrous loss your Hundreds of Flowers Palace has ever suffered. If you don't take revenge, I'm afraid that the two of you will definitely be affected in the future. That's right. LV Kilian nodded. You have fought with the Wild Lion Emperor before, you should be clear of his strength. Chen Shang said again. LV Kilian nodded. Chen Shang already had a series of plans. She could tell that if she wanted to take revenge, she had to listen to Chen Shang humbly. However, they have all been poisoned by drunk god magical poison. Their strength is very strong, but it will take them a very long time to cure the poison. As for the other little berserk lions, they are even more harmless, and the main reason is that Wild Lion Princess and Wild Lion Emperor did not get poisoned. Chen Shang looked at little Lizzie, and asked, if you were to fight against that Wild Lion Princess, how long would you be able to last? At most 3 moves, she has already completed the 9 revolutions Saint Beast. She is a Saint Beast. Little Lizzie sighed. If it was me, I could deal with that Wild Lion Princess. LV Kilian said. But killing her isn't easy either. Chen Shang shook his head. You are mainly dealing with the Wild Lion Emperor, you fought with him for a long time last time, you need to delay him again, give us more time, and let us kill the Wild Lion Princess. How many drunk god magical poison do you have? LV Kilian guessed that Chen Shang wanted to use this kind of thing. Chapter 1500, Drunk god magical poison aren't the problem. The most important thing is how to poison them. They aren't stupid, Chen Shang said, then took out a drunk god flower. Do you dare to touch this thing? Seeing the drunk god flower, LV Kilian's eyes lit up. She understood what Chen Shang wanted her to do, and accepted it. How much do you need? In 10 days, the more you do, the better. Chen Shang said. Can you tell me your plan first? When little Lizzie saw that flower, he knew that you must be the legendary drunk god flower. I will work with you to finish off the Wild Lion Princess. Your palace master will go install the Wild Lion Emperor by herself. If she uses poison well, she might be able to capture the wild lion emperor. Chen Shang said, and these drunk god magical poison are the most important. LV Kilian's mother was the poison elder, so Chen Shang felt that their chances of winning were very high. Don't steal my flowers. Chen Shang smiled and said, if you want to marry little Lizzie to me, I'll give you one. Don't even think about it. LV Kilian immediately said, I don't want your poison flowers. Whatever, I'll give you one. Give me a kiss. That should be fine, right? Chen Shang said. He had already moved his face closer, but LV Kilian wanted to slap him. Chen Shang curled his lips. Then, I'll give you one. Thank you. LV Kilian revealed a cunning smile on his face, then took out a small jade bottle, poured out some crystal clear liquid, and even brought out a very enchanting fragrance, similar to the scent of LV Kilian's body. Chen Shang only gave LV Kilian one petal, but LV Kilian carefully pulled off a petal. After a drop of the petal came out, the other parts of the petal gradually grew longer, and soon formed a whole one. This was very similar to Chen Zhang's creation divine liquid, but much more powerful. It was because his creation divine liquid would need at least dozens of drops to be able to produce one. Continue talking about the plan, little Lizzie, did you manage to cultivate the devil-suppressing golden body? Chen Shang asked. No, it's very difficult to reach that level. I wonder how you managed to cultivate it. Little Lizzie asked. She had wanted to ask Chen Shang for guidance a long time ago. What about you? Chen Shang looked at LV Kilian. I can't cultivate it either, although my father is the devil-suppressing heavenly venerable. LV Kilian shook his head. Chen Shang said, I found a stone tablet in DTN with devil-suppressing Kung Fu written on it. I memorized the chants on it and somehow managed to cultivate the devil-suppressing golden body, so I don't know the trick to it. Don't you have the chants for the devil-suppressing Kung Fu? Of course there are. There are a lot of incantations, and they are very hard to understand. My father did not leave any explanation, so to this day, I still do not understand it. LV Kilian frowned. Looks like your luck isn't bad, you have obtained my father's true inheritance. Yeah, although I've never seen your father before, I feel that he will definitely admire me a lot and might even marry you to me. Chen Shang chuckled. But I already have a wife, so when the time comes I will definitely reject him. Be more serious. LV Kilian suddenly became angry. Chen Shang came over to little Lizzie's side and smiled. Little Lizzie is still the best, I love him a lot more than you. However, I will easily be poisoned. I don't cultivate the devil-suppressing golden body, and if I were to deal with other poisons, I would be fine, but this is a super old poison. Su Yun said. Little Lizzie asked seriously. Chen Shang really wanted to pinch her round face, but he didn't dare do so. Don't worry, I will concoct some antidote for you. If you are poisoned, you can immediately bite into it and cure it. Chen Shang said. Impossible, although drunk god magical poisons are not very scary among super old poison, they are very difficult to cure. Without several years or dozens of years of time, it would be very difficult to force out the poison, and they also need to rely on external strength to force out the poison. LV Kilian said with certainty. She had already made more than 30 drunk god flower and the mysterious liquid in her bottle was used up. Chen Shang said in a low voice. My blood can cure the 100 poisons, you all better not speak of it randomly, or else it'll kill me. LV Kilian and little Lizzie looked at each other in shock, then nodded. At this time, LV Kilian closed her eyes, as if she was channeling her powers. Her body was shrouded in white mist, and she had a relaxed expression, and looked extremely beautiful, as if she was a goddess. Chen Shang and little Lizzie did not speak anymore, quietly watching LV Kilian. Not long later, LV Kilian opened her eyes and slightly opened her cherry lips, only to see droplets of sparkling and translucent white light floating out. When these droplets fell into the small jade bottle, there were more than 10 of them. I really want to kiss your mouth. Chen Shang laughed. LV Kilian only glared at him, and did not say much. It seemed that she was already accustomed to Chen Zhang's actions. Furthermore, there were only little Lizzies, and no outsiders present. Chen Shang also took out a small jade bottle, and said, This is mine, I don't know what will happen if I mix it with yours. He took out a jade bowl and dripped a drop into it. It was a pale golden liquid that emitted a faint golden splendor. Isn't it the Dragon Cohesion Kung Fu? I remember that it's green. LV Kilian was a little surprised. You should be cultivating the improved Dragon Cohesion Kung Fu. As she spoke, she dripped a drop of the mysterious liquid that she had created and mixed it with Chen Zhang's. Little Lizzie also came over to take a closer look. She had already known that LV Kilian had this kind of ability, and LV Kilian had even taught her before. It was just that she found it very difficult to learn it, since she wouldn't be the one to personally comprehend the alive slain method. Can they be fused together? Chen Shang was very much looking forward to the two drops of golden white liquid colliding with each other, but instead of fusing with each other right away, they seemed to conflict with each other. But a moment later, they suddenly started to fuse together. LV Kilian also opened his phoenix eyes wide, looking carefully. The two drops of liquid suddenly turned silvery white the moment they fused together, and also flickered with a very strong light. The three people inside the stone room immediately sensed a strong life force. That drop of liquid seemed to contain boundless life force, as if it could rebirth a withered forest. Quick, give it a try. Chen Shang urged. What kind of test? If it's just drunk god flower, I'm afraid we won't be able to see its effects. LV Kilian said. She was also very curious, she did not expect such a strange thing to happen. Chen Shang took out a sacred animal fruit and said, let's try it, this is a first stage immortal grade sacred animal fruit. LV Kilian took the jade bowl and dripped the small drop of the mystical liquid into the sacred animal fruit. The sacred animal fruit was immediately surrounded by the silvery white light and its quality was gradually improving. After he was done, LV Kilian picked up the sacred animal fruit, his face full of surprise. The quality has increased by a lot. If you drip another 100 or so drops, you can turn this sacred animal fruit into a second stage immortal grade.